Hello and welcome in for everybody joining on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in to the 354th, yeah, that's right, 354th episode of the Dean Withers Show. I really appreciate you so much for being here, as well as welcome into the nearly 5,000 people that have joined in so far over on TikTok. Thank you for being here as well. Now, if you've never been here before, let me tell you what we do. We debate Trump supporters to try to change their minds, to get them to leave that pro-Trump side of history, to join the anti-Trump side of history, because Trump is the worst president of my life, your life, and the lives of every single person watching the stream right now, young or old, 80 or 20, it doesn't matter. He is an unprecedented tyrant, an unprecedented mess that is unprecedentedly bad for the American people and terrible for humans across the globe. And we'll be sure we talk a lot about the reasons insofar as why that is true today. So make sure that you are dropping a like, regardless if it's on that YT stream, double tapping on that phone screen over on TikTok, sharing that live out with a couple friends. Y'all already know it. Y'all already know it. It helps the live shoot out more, so we get even more people in here. Now, every day we also like to go over the breaking news, and today's breaking news is that Donald Trump has vowed death, fire, and fury in Iran as the war spirals out of control. So the first part of that statement isn't new. This came in a handful of days ago. Donald Trump vowed an attack 20 times worse than what he's already done in Iran. The worst attack ever in the history of humanity if Iran does not open up the Strait of Hormuz. If you don't know what the Strait of Hormuz is, I bet you do, because it's been very relevant over the course of the last 2 weeks. It is a strait controlled in part by Iran that oversees around 20% of the world's daily oil production. And see, the issue here is, well, when we started war with Iran, they actually shut that strait down. So now the global supply chain of oil is a disarray. It's a mess. Massive oil shortages. You know what that means. That means the price of oil is going up. Last week, we saw a 53-cent increase in the price of gas here at home in America. This impacts you and how much you pay at the pump, but also how much you pay for all products, because the price of oil is a massive consideration of the price of transportation, if anything, ranging from the cost that it takes your local CDL drivers to fill up their tank when they're bringing the groceries to the grocery store, or the jet fuel that goes into the plane to ship a product from China to America. It doesn't matter. Those things are going to cost more now because the Strait of Hormuz is shut down. Donald Trump didn't like that, because that's bad for our economy. He promised low gas prices. He promised a booming American economy, and he also promised no new wars. And it's a little bit harder to sell the American people on a new war when it's hurting them so very, very much. So like I said, in response, he was like, Iran, if you don't open it, we're going to destroy you or whatever the hell. Right? But the thing is that today we finally got the first public statement from the new supreme leader of Iran, the son of the late Ayatollah. And he said that they are not going to surrender. They're not going to give up. They're going to hit America harder than ever before. And he even vowed that he is not going to open up the Strait of Hormuz. And as of maybe 30 minutes before starting this live stream, we also got another update that now they're actually putting mines in the Strait of Hormuz. So if a ship even tries to go through it, there's a chance that they're just going to die. And so that is fulfilling the end of the promise Donald Trump made of what they would need to do in order to get absolutely obliterated with death, fire, and fury. Do we know that that's going to be Trump's response? Is it possible he was bullshitting? It's very possible he was bullshitting. Do we know that he's even going to give that response today or tomorrow? Maybe not, all right? I mean, he could just say he's going to give them more time to open the strait, so he doesn't need to kick things up a gear again when the American people already don't support this new war. So at the end of the day, we don't really know. But what we do know is that this is an escalation in a war in which Donald Trump said was coming to an end, an escalation in the war in which Donald Trump said America has already won, an escalation in a war in which he's already trying to find an off-ramp for because of how badly it's hurting Americans and even the approval ratings of his administration. So things just continue to get worse, spiral out of control, and now Axios is saying that this is the largest global conflict since the Cold War. So that's scary. That's really scary, right? We already have the very first Trump supporter of the day loaded up and tuned into that live stream. We're going to go ahead and hop into a discussion with him. His name is David here in one moment. Before we do, I think that we've had, let's see here. We've had 5 people send in donations in the last 10 minutes while we were hitting that intro. So I just want to thank them real quick. Robert, thank you for the $5 over on YouTube Super Chat. He says, love you, Dean. Love you too, man. Appreciate you for the 5. Jackson, thank you for the 2. Says, I've been here since episode 10. Have a great day. Bro, you've been watching for forever. Appreciate you for that love. Hillary, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. He says, I don't know if you saw this, but there's a shooting at a college in Virginia. And now there's a report of a shooting at a synagogue in Detroit. Oh, man. Thank you so much for the $10, Hillary. That is terrible. Thank you so much for sharing that information with me. That's really terrible. As well as Annabelle, thank you for the $10 as well. He says, hey, Dean, woke up early. Glad I could join. Just waiting for the YouTube live to begin. Well, we are on YouTube already. So pop over there, Annabelle. Thank you so much for the 10. And then 2 more here. Asher, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. I'm happy that we were able to convince you that Trump's a bad guy. And the very last one here from Miss Amy over on YouTube. Miss Amy, thank you so much for the $50 donation to start that stream. That is so very, very kind of you. I want to see 500 Amy W's in all of the live chats. Thank you so much for the support. Amy with the 50 says, I'm a moderate/progressive Trump-hating mama of 2 toddler boys who wishes she could afford more to show the gratitude I feel towards her cause. Well, Amy, that is a very, very kind donation. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for your kindness, and I bet that you're a great mom. Thank you so much for the $50. And then Z, thank you so much for the $25 donation, who says, hey, Dean, I've missed the past few lives. Midterms have kept me buried. I get it. I just wanted to compensate it. Keep up the good work. No, you never need to compensate anything, Z. I appreciate you so much for the $25 donation. I remember your name. You have been watching for a while, and I'm so grateful for you. Show some love to Amy, Z, and all of the donors down below in that chat. You guys are always so very kind when we first start the live stream. At this point in time, let's go ahead and hop into that first debate. David, I'm gonna go ahead and send you an invite to turn that mic back on. In order to accept the invite, you just have to hit that button in the middle of the phone screen. So, David, you told us you were a Trump supporter, and you told us the reason why is because you think he's a kind man. Actually, would you mind repeating the reasons you gave me earlier?
Yeah, sure. Like I was saying, like if Trump is a good man, but like I've been like heard of like being like since I've been seeing like the news on the job, and I saw like the Trump like come out on the plane and stuff, and I know like Trump like talk about like politics and all the stuff he was talking about, and yeah.
Yeah, okay, man. Well, I'm just going to quickly give you a response, and I probably will move on to that next guest. But to keep it short, David, I do not think that Donald Trump is a nice guy. I think that he's a very mean guy, and he's been very mean to a lot of people. I could give you a couple examples of him being really mean. I think he was really mean to women when he took away their access to health care. Very mean to black people when he posted a picture of Obama and his wife, Michelle Obama, as monkeys or apes on social media. I think he's been pretty mean to children across the world, including the 174 that died as a result of a strike in Iran. And I guess I would just recommend trying to pay attention to maybe some of the more critical news reporting on him, because I think he's been really mean to a lot of people.
No, honestly, I don't mean like I didn't mean like he's like mean or like or nice, but like I kind of understand what you're saying about trying to Trump being mean or those skills or something like that. Like I thought like I really noticed that I know Trump is a guy like who is like that good, but mostly like, but I heard that Trump is oh my gosh. Guys,
you're good, man.
For the votes.
How about this? Oh God.
Some of those, I think some of those give me like some voices over here.
Yeah.
And I was saying like if they know Trump more than anybody else, like, do you really think that Trump may like I don't like them into girls or stuff, but I was saying like if they know like each other, and like how I noticed that when Trump went to the like those guys like I get what you're saying like by mean, but like some people do be mean, but sometimes they be nice. I don't know, like, how of, like, tell me this. How of the Trump being nice than being mean?
How about this, David? Here's what I'd recommend. I'd recommend paying attention to reporting on Trump that's a little bit more critical of him and his character. And I think that would be a really good next step for you. I think that there's a lot of really good people who will report about his actions and his character, and I would recommend paying attention to them. At this point in time, David, I am going to move on to that next Trump supporter, and I appreciate you for joining me, and I hope that you have a good rest of your day, man. Let's go ahead and get that next guest loaded up into the box, y'all. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president tonight, or I guess this afternoon, because we're usually live during the evening. We are only looking for Trump supporters, so only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump? Julia, I'm going to go and give you around 5 seconds to respond.
No, but what's your favorite radio album?
I'm going to go ahead and ban you. Let's go ahead and get that next guest loaded up into the box. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. We got this guy back. Why do you want to come back? Are you a masochist? Do you have like an embarrassment kink? Because I keep embarrassing you, then you keep hopping back in that queue.
You gonna be on at 4? Probably.
Will I be on at 4? What time? What time zone?
Today. So I'm in. I don't even know, honestly. So I'm in the Panhandle, so it's like the Panhandle of Florida.
Yeah, so I will be on it.
So it's like an hour behind Eastern Standard Time.
I'll be at 4. Yeah, I'll be on at 4 your time.
All right, I'll jump back on.
You don't have time.
I know. I knew you were gonna let me up. You're dwelling on those L's that I.
Well, I mean, I think if I
you're dwelling on those L's, Dean.
I think if I was beat by you in previous debates, then I probably wouldn't want you back up again because I wouldn't want to get embarrassed again. The reason why I keep on letting you back up is because you have quite the ego, and I love to sit you down every single time we have a conversation.
I don't think you've shot my ego down, Dean. And I don't think I have a huge ego.
I think that speaks
chill.
to just how big it is. But you said that you wanted to rejoin it for your time. Feel free. Let's go to move on to the next guest loaded up. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. We got Chloe joining. Here we go. Hi, do you support Trump?
I do.
Oh, it's Chloe. You're back. Oh my God, this will be great. All right, Chloe, I got a grift real quick. So I'm going to thank a couple people. Is that all right?
Yeah, take your time.
Okay. Hey, let's see. Toya, thank you so much for the 10 euros over on YouTube Super Chat. That is TOYA. Let's get 100 Toya W's down below. Who says, thoroughly enjoy all your debates. Definitely a figure that inspired my growing aspiration to become more involved in politics. Thank you. That's awesome, Toya. That is exactly what we want. We want the Trump supporters to change their minds, and we want the apolitical or the progressive to get more involved. So I love that for you. That's awesome, Toya. As well as thank you so much, Bridget, for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much for that love, Bridget. Let's get 200 Bridget W's. Bridget says, chat, please be kind to this caller, referencing the caller before the last that was up here for the first caller of the day. As someone with 16 plus years of experience with adults with disabilities, he either has a speech impediment or some other kind of disability. I got to agree with Bridget here, you guys. I think it's fine to berate Trump supporters for being Trump supporters, but it's not okay to berate Trump supporters for being disabled or having a disability. I definitely agree there. That's one of those areas where once you open the door to bullying somebody because of a disability, you're no better than many other Trump supporters that join our life. Okay, that's something Trump would do. That's not something we would do. Key, thank you for the 5 gifted subs over on YouTube as well. I really appreciate you so much for that support. Thank you so much, Key. Over on Venmo, Connor, thank you so much for the $6.66. Connor says, loved you on Mezzo's stream last night. What's your smoking rank? Connor, that wasn't me, I swear. Thank you for the $6. Jaden, thank you for the $10. Who says, Dean, everyone shut up, my show is on. For real, thank you though for the education on these weird MAGA losers. You're great and inspire me. Oh, thank you so much for that love, Jaden. Let's get 100 Jaden W's. I really appreciate you so much for the kind words. Juliet, thank you for the $10. Who says, I watch your streams every day and wish one day to be like you. You've changed so many lives and it really means something. Oh, Juliet, that is such a kind compliment. And anybody could do what we do. Honestly, the biggest thing is that it just takes repetition and experience of doing these debates. So, just start debating people. Thank you for the $10, Juliet. And Kelly, thank you for the 25, Juliet. Thank you for the $25 over on Venmo, Kelly. Let's get 300 Kelly W's. Kelly says, for your kindness and patience. Thank you so much for the love, Kelly. I hope that you enjoyed today's streams. I really appreciate you so much for the $25. That's a lot of money. Thank you. Then 2 more here. Alicia, thank you for the 5. And then Marissa, thank you so much for the $10, who says, genuinely, how do you have all these facts on the top of your head? It's impressive. Photographic memory, if I'm going to be honest. Over on PayPal, thank you so much for the $25. Jessica, who says, no need to read it out loud. Okay, I will keep that to myself. And I kind of just did. I kind of just read it to myself. I appreciate you for your kind words, Jessica. We always try to promote a place that's inclusive to everyone. Thank you so much for the $25. Let's get 250 Jessica W. Show some love to all of our donors. I really appreciate you guys. And with that, go ahead and take it away, Chloe.
Good morning, first of all. How are you doing, Dean?
Oh, I'm doing great, Chloe. How are you?
I'm doing swell.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure, yeah.
Are you going to talk to me about Charlie Kirk today?
No, I didn't last time either, so
I know
we're on a good streak.
I know, right?
Yeah. I kind of wanted to talk to you about you. Is that okay?
Oh God. Well, I mean, listen, I love talking about me, but the point of these streams is to talk about Trump and why the hell you still support him.
Yeah. Well, it has to do with him. I'm just curious.
So you're going to find a way to talk about me that's somehow relevant to why you support Trump.
Yeah, sure. Because I think
I don't think that you're going to be able to achieve that angle. I think a lot of people try.
Dean, don't run.
And you just end up embarrassing yourself. I'm not running. I'm gonna let you embarrass yourself. Like, please be my guest, but it won't inevitably work out.
Okay, so we're skipping, not running. Cool. I kind of wanted to know exactly when you stopped supporting Trump, because if I do remember, you were MAGA at one point, yeah?
Yeah, I stopped supporting Trump on J6.
Okay. Okay, so exactly, were you educating yourself before like that happened, or did you just like look up a bunch of facts on J6 and with your photographic memory and just kind of like sway then?
I was gradually getting more involved and more educated in like the 6 months to 9 months leading up to J6. But literally on the day that J6 happened, I was watching the breaking news on my TV. What I learned then is, like, regardless of what my question or what my positions were in Trump's policy, regardless if I thought it was good or bad, I think at the time I still thought it was good. That somebody like Trump can never be an effective president because of how divisive he was for the country. Like, I don't think that anybody, regardless of what their policy is, could effectively lead if they just cause division. And I think that's what Trump really proved on J6, was that he wasn't a president of the people. He was a president who intended to divide the people.
Okay, but looking at our government, going back plenty of years, we've seen division in every possible way, like regardless of whose administration we were under. So I'm just curious as to how it's more relevant when Donald Trump is in office than it is with any other president.
Sure, yeah, I'm not saying that every president before Trump was a gatherer of the people and a celebrator of the kumbaya. Now, I will say I think that Obama definitely was. I think that Obama was a man of the people who was always respectful to everybody regardless of their political affiliation. I think we even just saw this a handful of days ago when he was given a speech, and in the crowd was a older gentleman holding a pro-Trump flag, and everyone in the audience started booing him and hating on him. Then Obama was like, well, first of all, we support free speech. He's a right to believe in what he wants and say what he wants. Second of all, looks like he was a member of the military. We got to respect that. Third of all, looks like he's elder. We have to respect our elders. And fourth of all, don't boo, vote. And I was telling myself, man, like, if only we could have a president like that today. If only Donald Trump's response to dissent was similar, and not let's go ahead and execute them like he did, say, in response to the 7 Democrats in Congress who reminded our military of the oath that they took to uphold the Constitution. Now, to get back around to your question about, well, if I stop supporting Trump over division and other presidents have also caused division, why am I hyper-focusing on Trump here? Although other presidents have caused some level of division at one point or another, I don't think I've ever seen the level of division created on J6 through the weaponization of one's following to attempt to insurrect our capital, and then the applaud and praise directed towards literal domestic terrorists that try to kill cops, such as we saw on J6 in the aftermath of such.
Okay, so that's you make a decent point there, but I want to know if you hold the people who are like rioting and stuff in the streets to the same exact standard, I guess, that you would hold to the J6ers, because essentially they caused the exact same amount of damage there.
Oh, I disagree. Let me tell you what I mean here. I do condemn people who riot and break and barge into Target and steal shit and light buildings on fire. I do condemn that. I think that's wrong, 110%. And I think it's pretty damn bad, pretty damn wrong. But I would argue it's definitely worse to attempt to barge into our Capitol, flying the Confederate flag, trying to kill cops, trying to kill representatives to prevent a federal election.
Okay, so, well, I guess I'm just kind of confused here, which, whatever. But the question is that we should be held to the same standards, right? So
Yeah,
myself,
but it's like holding people to the same standards, given that they engage in the same action. And I don't think that breaking a window at Target is the same as breaking a window at the Capitol, intending to go into that building to kill our representatives when they're attempting to officiate an election, right? Two different things.
okay, yeah, but I mean, we could weigh it, right? We could weigh the amount of people who were injured and harmed, right, on that specific date, and we can weigh that with the riots that happened in response to whatever the hell is going on in this country. I mean, the BLM riots, they were actually insane, and there were so many people who were injured during that time that weren't even going to be involved. These are groups of people who actually went there in
personal damage and property damage are going to be the only two relevant similarities between J6 and BLM riots, for sure. But what matters even more for the long term of this country, beyond isolated personal or property damage, is going to be the erosion against our checks and balances, our civil and electoral processes, our congressmen and women, our representatives, the sanctity of the Capitol, and the sanctity of free and fair elections, which isn't just direct/immediate personal/property damage. And I don't understand why you're telling me that I need to be looking at the people at the BLM riots and the people at J6 as if they were equal to hold them to the same standard. I think that you should be telling that to Trump, because Trump is the one who holds them to a different standard. Everyone who burned down a building or broke into a Target in the BLM riots is Antifa, a member of a terrorist organization, according to Trump. But everybody who broke into the Capitol, tried to kill congressmen and women, try to kill cops, they're not terrorists. They're not Antifa. They're patriots. And they're such good American patriots that they don't even deserve to be held in a jail cell for one day. And they all got full and complete presidential pardons. Don't tell me that we need to hold people to the same standards here. Tell Trump, the president you support, that we apparently need to be holding the people to the same standards here.
Okay, well, here's the difference between that, right? So I myself am not sitting here disregarding the fact that that people should have been prosecuted, right? I can sit here and say I can criticize my president when he does something wrong. The problem I have here is that you guys look, right, at the American people. You see them as your own. You see them as your equal, right? Unless you're involved with the government, you're a billionaire. You're basically on the outside. When we're looking at these people and these businesses that were destroyed for no good reason, you don't think that that's a problem? Like I heard you say that looters were a problem.
Now you're just like taking my words completely out
I'm
of context.
asking you a question. You can just answer the question. You don't have to get defensive.
It's a question that I've already answered, Chloe. If you were paying attention,
but you're talking about not holding them to the same extent when you don't like the government.
Let me finish my sentence here. It's a question that I've already answered, Chloe. You're now beginning to realize that my argument here is impenetrable, and there's nothing that you could say in response because what I'm saying is so clearly true. But the very first words that left my mouth the moment you mentioned the BLM rioters was, yeah, I condemn those actions. I think they're wrong. I just think the actions that we saw take place on J6 were worse.
Okay, but I thought we were... How's that worse, though? Because technically when we're referencing the government, right, you guys are all for condemning the government, okay? But you don't have... What specifically do you have an issue with in terms of the riots? I'm curious to know.
Well, one moment. You just said, how's that worse? Chloe, I need you to listen to understand because I've already explained
I understand you, Dean. I'm trying to ask you inquisitive questions.
One moment. You don't understand me. No, you don't. You don't understand me, or else you wouldn't be asking that question, because for the second time now, it's a question I've already answered. Now, I will happily answer it again so you could keep up, but if I do answer it again, do you promise to listen and understand?
Yeah, if you don't give me the same answer because I'm not asking the same question.
It's not a question that you asked before that I answered before. It's a question that you're asking now that I've already answered in my address to your previous questions that were different. So I'm going to try again, Chloe. Just keep up. See, my thing here is I think the reason why you're asking a question that I've already answered is because you didn't like my answer, because you can't defeat it, because you know I'm right and you know you're wrong.
I told you I can criticize my president.
The reason why I hold the people at J6 to a different standard than the BLM rioters isn't because they engage in the same action. I'm not a partisan hack, but is rather because they engage in an action that's worse. Like, for instance, if person one tells a white lie, then person two cheats on his wife, then lies about it to her face, I'm going to hold person two to a different standard, not because I have a bias against person two, but rather because the action that person two engaged in was worse. very similarly, I'm going to hold the BLM rioters to a different standard than the J6ers, not because of a bias against the J6ers compared to the BLM rioters, but rather because the actions that the J6ers engaged in were worse. Okay? They weren't just breaking the window of a Target to go into that Target to steal a loaf of bread. They were attempting to break the windows of our Capitol, trying to kill cops in the process, to raid that Capitol, kill our congressmen and women, to prevent a free and fair election, to help in consideration and furtherance of Trump's plan to install himself for a second term. One of those two things is clearly worse than the other. One of those two things is an attack on our electoral processes. One of those two things is an attack on our Constitution. One of those two things is an erosion of our checks and balances. One of those two things is an erosion of our democracy, and then the other isn't. So clearly that's why I'd say here in one circumstance it's worse than the other. Now, the second thing I'd also like to bring up here is in one circumstance, it was not influenced with structural and systemic power. The J6 rioters were condemned, arrested, and thrown in jail. When they broke the law, they were not defended by any Democratic politician in any position of power that could let them out of jail. The J6 rioters were influenced to raid the Capitol by the president, the most powerful man alive, and then after they raided the Capitol, tried to kill cops, smear their shit on the walls, everything else we've already went over, they were called patriots, let out of jail, and then had their criminal records wiped. And for these reasons, I find it to be clear here that the events that we saw unfold on J6 were significantly worse than the events that we saw unfold in the BLM riots.
I mean, I guess you could totally, you could say that, but I mean, I still don't understand how it's more relevant for people who are not currently as oppressed as they used to be, go out in the streets and riot and try to kill cops as well, and have an excuse for it and have it not be as relevant as someone breaking into the Capitol.
The people who tried to kill cops in the BLM riots, were they arrested?
Yeah, 100%. Some
were
of
they
them,
thrown
sure.
in jail?
Some of them.
Were they
some
thrown
of them.
in jail?
That doesn't matter if you're saying it's more relevant.
It does matter. Give me a moment. Were they thrown in jail?
Some of them.
So they were thrown in jail. Were they ever let out of jail? Through a pardon?
I'm sure. Through a presidential pardon?
No, through any type of pardon, from the governor of the state, influence of a Democratic politician. Do we see any system of power downstream of any politician at any level fight to get those people out of jail? No, we didn't. So clearly,
we saw. Okay, but we saw political candidates endorsing it, though.
Here, like who?
Anyone. I mean, literally anyone in California.
Name one.
We saw it in LA.
Name one.
Okay, we can talk about Gavin Newsom.
Okay, show me where
he
Gavin
referenced
Newsom
the BLM
riots and the destruction of property and the attempted killing of cops. I want you to give me a source on that claim.
There is no source for that specific verbatim.
But
he has definitely spoken about it. I can definitely give you a
it?
source. Hold on, I got you.
Wait. I'm so sorry. Speaking about riots is not endorsing riots. I'm speaking about the BLM riots. I'm not endorsing them. You're speaking about the BLM riots. You're not endorsing them. You sound crazy, Chloe. Okay, Chloe's on pause looking for that source. I mean, I kind of got my, metaphorical foot on the throat here. I mean, I feel like we're really just drilling in this argument. While she's looking for that source, I'll quickly thank a couple people. Mr. Thomas, thank you for the $35 over on Super Chat. I appreciate you so much for that love, brother. Let's get 350. Thomas W's, my man. That is so much money. I really appreciate you so much for the kindness and the generosity, bro. Thank you for supporting me in what we do here. Thomas with the 35 says, if somebody claims that the left promotes violence, try bringing up what Trump said about Rob Rayner after he died, saying that he was a victim of Trump derangement syndrome. Thomas, that is just one of many good examples to show just how wrong and delusional they are. Thank you for reminding me of that. I'm sure that will become relevant. I'd also like to thank Anthony for the $50 over on Super Chat. Thank you so much for the love, Anthony. Let's get another 500 Anthony W's. You guys are going crazy today. I really appreciate y'all for the kindness. Anthony with a 50 says, you have so much patience for these damn idiots, my brother. I admire that. You are so sharp, and I really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, Anthony. The patience has been a work in progress over the course of the last couple of years, but I'd argue I got it pretty dialed in. Show some love to Thomas and Anthony down below, as well as Reese. Thank you for the $15 over on Venmo. Says this stream is going to get me through the last stretch of my 9-hour flight home. Thank you for all that you do. Hell yeah, Reese. Dude, I promise this stream will help it fly by, literally. Thank you for the $15. Lyra with a 2, Barbara with a 5. Thank you. Marissa with a 10. I really appreciate you. We're all caught up over on Venmo. We're all caught up on Super Chat. Let's get caught up on PayPal. Douglas, thank you so much for this $16. Who says, I don't know how you do it, but keep it up. I certainly will keep it up, man. I love what I do so very much, Douglas. Thank you for the $16. And then Miss Caroline, thank you so much for the $40 donation on PayPal. Let's get 400 Caroline W's down below in that chat. Caroline with a 40. This is the last person I have to thank, by the way, says, hey, Dean, sadly, I've had to take a big step back from watching. My health is getting bad. It puts a big strain on me mentally and financially. Well, you never have to support financially, by the way, Caroline. I just want to be able to point that one out. Also, the boyfriend situation still, I'm very sad because I love your streams and you help me a lot. Thank you for everything that you do. I completely 110% understand, Caroline. When I first started doing these debate streams, it put me in such a bad place mentally. It made me the most depressed I've ever been. So I completely understand how they could stress you out as a viewer. Please take a step back for the sake of your own mental health. Thank you for the $40. Make sure to show some very extra special love to Caroline down below. Chloe, you're back.
Yeah.
What are you laughing about?
I'm sorry, Dean.
What are you laughing at? Tell the class.
Yeah, I'm laughing at the fact that you were sitting there staring at us saying it put a really big strain on my mental health.
Yeah, it did. Well, I mean, what's
Why?
funny about like one strain on one's mental health?
Nothing's funny about it. It was just so solemn. Why are you so
laughing
sad?
at something funny?
No, yeah, I mean, it was sort of funny, yeah. It was just very
so
solemn.
there was something funny about it. So what was funny about it?
The fact that you just focused in and you're like, yeah, put a big strain on my mental health.
It did, dude. For the first 6 months of me doing these debates every single day, it did put a big strain on my mental health, and it made me depressed as all hell to listen to crazy whack jobs for 46 hours every single day, telling me that up is down, left is right, and bad is good. You know, it completely ruined my view of humanity. It morphed my worldview into something a little bit more draconian and evil compared to optimistic benevolence. It was a very big, very big bump in the road for my upbringing, 110%. Plus, at the time, I was like barely 18, barely an adult, walking into life. I mean, sure, that would definitely put a really big strain on any rational person's mental health.
Well, I'm really sorry for that, Dean, and I hope you're doing okay.
I'm not asking you to apologize. I don't even care
No,
about
I
what
know,
your thoughts
but
are.
I just... Well, can I say something really... Thank you guys so much for the gifts. I appreciate it. So I wanted to make this abundantly clear. Gavin Newsom in 2020 did indeed go on ABC 7, referencing the riots. He was talking about them, and he did. I will say, I will give him the credit here, that at one point he did try to grab the National Guard for the looting, but he said that BLK's people's responsibility is not the racism that they, I guess, indulge in this country or encounter. Sorry. So if that's not referencing the riots right there, the governor of California, the one who actually sat on a stage the other day and literally was totally racist to everyone and their mother.
Right. So I just want to clarify. You're saying that Gavin Newsom supported the riots because he said that racism isn't black people's responsibility?
No. He sat there on the ABC news stream and literally said that we should be protesting. 100%. Yeah.
Oh.
And then eventually he tried to grab the National Guard.
I agree with that statement. Now, I don't think that's the quote you just gave me. I'm not quite sure that Gavin Newsom did say we should be protesting.
Well, then you should look it up.
But one moment, Chloe. I hope he said that because we absolutely should be protesting. People should be protesting against racism. People should be protesting against systemic violence against marginalized communities. And saying that we should be protesting against these things, it's not endorsing riots because riots are different than protesting.
Riots, yeah, the protest that turns into riots, that he was watching happen in California, specifically downtown LA, and then he was like, yeah, we should be doing this.
Okay, well, now if you're just saying that people who endorse protests are endorsing riots, well, then all of a sudden you have to say that the Constitution endorses violence because it explicitly protects your right, my right, all of our rights to freedom of assembly and protest. It looks like Gavin Newsom is just as violent as the First Amendment of the American Constitution.
No, see, here's the thing is, Dean, is that I find it funny because I say something like that. I generalize. I try to grab from every corner and you're like, I didn't say that. Let me answer it again. And then when I say something, you're like, Chloe, you're MAGA. You should definitely not say that because you're saying that the Constitution incites violence. That's not what I'm saying.
You are. Okay, well, if that's not what you're saying, then you can't condemn Gavin Newsom for saying that we should be protesting.
Okay, so you're telling me you're watching your city burn down, right? Your state, the state in which you govern, right? You're staring at it, you're watching it, and you're like, yeah, we should be doing this. And then eventually when it gets too bad and people actually start like getting hurt, some people almost dying, then you're like, maybe we should grab the National Guard. I mean, possibly could be.
You're now
could be
even
something we
like
could get interested in.
even now you're misinterpreting what he said to attempt to make an argument that doesn't.
But you're
exist.
misinterpreting what I say, so I guess we're both misinterpreting.
How am I
don't know.
misinterpreting what you've said? Tell me.
Because you.
Where'd you go, Chloe? I didn't mute you.
I got a phone call. You're taking what I said and you're snowballing it. I never said anything about the Constitution. You're trying to
yeah. So you think
mislead
that me
everyone.
showing a logical
Right.
equivalence from the statement in which you're making is me misinterpreting you, when in all reality,
Well,
I'm
a
just
lot of
showing
your
you. Okay, interrupt me.
your logical equivalence never works, Dean. I've seen you
Okay.
debate about abortion. That didn't even work.
So
I
then
mean,
go ahead and
seriously,
tell me
like,
how.
you could
Then
just
go ahead
take-
and tell me here how this isn't a logical equivalence, because you condemn Gavin Newsom for saying that we should be protesting. Meanwhile, the Constitution says the same thing.
Okay, right. So when you're staring through your window and you're watching your whole city burn down, and then ABC says, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And you as a governor say, "Hey, yeah, we should be protesting." And
Yeah,
then,
I'd say the same
few
thing.
days later,
because-
you're like-
yeah, exactly. We shouldn't be rioting. We should be protesting.
did he say we
110%.
shouldn't be rioting?
Well, I mean, you told me that he wanted to deploy the National Guard, so it seems like it. Now what you're
Eventually,
doing,
yes.
now,
Eventually,
Chloe,
yeah.
here's another.
I said a few days later, did I
now
not?
here's the issue. Here's the even bigger issue now, because now you're saying that, well, the BLM riots were explicitly endorsed by Democrat politicians because you think they never explicitly said it's something that we shouldn't do. Like, but even in that same breath, you're admitting that he did say that like 2 days later, right? Like, let me
Okay.
just, don't interrupt me here, Chloe. Let me finish. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
yeah, I'll let you go.
You were fighting an uphill battle because of your own bias, subjugating you to a position where you care more about narratives than you care about the real world and the reality around you. You cannot condemn Donald Trump for causing J6. You can't condemn Donald Trump for defending J6, and you can't condemn Donald Trump for then calling the people who enacted upon J6, tried to terminate an election, infringe on a free and fair electoral and a civil processes, and it killed cops. You won't condemn him for pardoning them either. And rather, you think that the true burden for endorsing riots would fall on Gavin Newsom, who said that we should be protesting, not rioting, and then later said that we need to deploy the National Guard to prevent the riots. You are twisting things because you're losing the debate, not because I'm better at debating than you, but rather because I'm debating in defense of the truth and you're debating in defense of MAGA lies. So what's the twisty response here that is likely something I've already addressed, likely something I've already debunked, and likely something I'll just have to repeat myself again to refute?
Okay, so let me make this abundantly clear. We can roll the clip, Dean. I've said 3 times now that I can criticize my president. I said 3 times now I was talking about J6 in reference to the president and what he did, and that I did not support it. Can we acknowledge that, please? You can roll the clip. I do not care. You can play it right now.
No, I can't acknowledge it. You have said
Okay,
that. But then here's my question for
I'm
you.
not-
Here's
hold
my
on,
here's my
Dean,
wait. I'm
please
not done
just let me
talking. I'm not.
finish.
No. I did let you finish. You asked
God.
me a question. So here's the thing. Here's my question, because I really just want to test that acknowledgement. If Gavin Newsom straight up supported the BLM riots, said the people trying to kill the cops, burn the buildings down, and raid the targets were patriots, and then after they got arrested by the cops for it, he as the governor gave them full and complete state pardons for all state crimes, is that somebody that you would ever support as president in a billion years?
It's not a fair ask, because I don't like Gavin Newsom. He's racist. Racist!
So can you answer my question?
My question would be no, because I hate him.
Okay, but
That's not a fair
would that
question.
action alone ever would that action alone serve as a red line? By the way, we'll talk about the claim that Gavin Newsom is racist, but would that action alone serve as a red line?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I don't like the man. Dean, ask me about someone else. I don't know
You're
what
not
else to
answering
tell
my
you.
question. Would that action alone serve as a red line?
Yeah, I hate him.
Okay,
That's
so
my
what-
question.
so-
That's my
so
answer.
Yes, you're telling us if a politician ever defended rioters, you never support them as president ever again, right?
Because Donald Trump did it on J6 and he pardoned people.
Right, and this is exactly where the argument works against you, because you just affirmed
It doesn't-
that it
it's
would
not
be a
the same
red line
concept.
against any politician to support riots, and you would never support them as president because of that. Well, that would apply to Trump because of his supports of the J6 riots. Therefore, you should never be a Trump supporter ever again. And you just told us it's not the same concept. So I just want you to say it out loud real quick, Chloe. You do not believe that it is true Donald Trump has ever supported riots, right?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Once again,
I just want to
will
answer your
tell
question.
you,
Has
for
Donald
the
Trump
third
supported
time-
riots, yes or no?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, but you just told us that you never support somebody as president that has supported riots.
No, I told you I wouldn't support Gavin Newsom.
Oh, okay. So now you're actually the one holding politicians to different standards, not based upon the actions they engage in, but rather based upon their political affiliation.
Yes,
So
the governor
earlier,
of
back in the
fucking California.
conversation, and Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America.
Not our president.
Exactly.
Gavin
A
Newsom is
position
a
lower
good-
than the presidency with less power, less sway, less control, and less influence. Once again, we're going to go ahead and go back to the very first statement you made when you joined the live stream today. You said, Dean, you should want to hold people to the same standard regardless of what they did. All right. And now you're telling me that you are willing to hold people to a different standard purely based upon their political affiliation, nothing else, not the actions they engage in. I think that's gross. I think that's clearly indicative of you being a member of a cult. And I'm so happy that I could expose that to every single person watching the stream. I tend to be pretty good at that.
Yeah. So what was my first initial claim, Dean? Can you point me to that verbatim once again?
Yes,
did I
of
say
course.
people, or did I say political figures, or did I say citizens of America?
Yeah, so political figures are citizens of America, my friend.
No, I know that, but we're talking about different positions of power here. We're talking about being an American citizen, being a rioter, and then we're talking about the president of the United States and the racist governor of California.
You actually did say this specifically about politicians, because you never said that you'd support Gavin Newsom, the politician, as president, strictly and specifically because he supported riots.
Well, I just want to make sure we're on the same track here, because I'm pretty sure that you're twisting my words since we're being twisty, because
Exactly. Whenever I catch you in a contradiction,
claim,
to say that I'm twisting your words. That is by far the very best way
that's
to
literally
evade, dodge,
what
and
you
deflect.
just did.
No, that's not what I did at all. That's what you said I did in response to my argument that I used to refute
Stop
your
muting
views.
me,
You very
Dean.
explicitly said that if a politician supported a riot, you would never support them as president in your life.
That wasn't my initial claim.
That was one of the claims that you made.
Was it my initial claim? Could you
It
just
doesn't
tell me
matter
my
if it was your
claim?
initial claim or your last claim. It was
Now
one
it
of your
doesn't
claims.
matter. That makes sense. Okay.
Yes,
so
it doesn't
I'm
matter at all. If I make 5 claims, regardless of the order in which I make the claims, if you were able to point out one of the claims that I made and how it's contradictory to my support of any politician, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if, like, I say that I never support a politician that wants tax cuts for the middle class as my first claim, my second claim, my third claim, my fourth claim, and my fifth claim. If I ever claim that I would never support a politician who wants tax cuts for the middle class, then turn around and said that I supported Kamala Harris regardless of the fact that she wanted tax cuts for the middle class, I would be contradicting myself. So it doesn't matter if it was your first claim, your second, your fifth, your 10th, your 50th claim that you would never support a politician who supported riots, because you made that claim regardless of the order in which you made it that is contradictory to your support of Trump as president. You should know this, and if you don't, it's very clearly indicative of the fact that you have the brain of a toddler.
No. So can I speak for just a moment? Like, is that okay?
Can
Without you muting me? Because not a lot of the times, Dean, I see you muting like a lot of like really annoying people. Cool, whatever. But then I see like most of the time you just let people talk. And when I'm up here, you mute me for some reason. And I'm really just trying to have a conversation with you here. So, first of all, the problem that I had... Here we go again. Jesus.
Oh, don't take Jesus' name in vain, you bad Christian.
No, I love my Jesus.
Okay,
Anyways.
then apologize for that sin. You took his name in vain.
No. Jesus. I need you, Jesus. Please. Dean is killing me right now. Oh my gosh. See?
Wait, so you
okay,
just told Jesus that I'm absolutely slaughtering you in this debate? God damn.
No.
You know it. Go ahead.
You're stressing me out. So, once again,
I'm
first of all,
I do that to the Trump
had,
supporters who join. That is
no, the problem that I had with you is that you lied, right? So I just want to make sure that we are all abundantly clear here that when you said that my first initial claim was about politicians, you lied, right? Can we make that clear? You lied. That's the problem that I had with the claim. It doesn't matter which claim it was. You said that I made it about politicians. That was not true, right? Okay.
So I just want to clarify that your critique here is not that you didn't make that claim.
That was
rather,
just the first thing I needed to say,
Chloe,
Dean.
So your critique here isn't that you didn't make that claim. It's that wasn't the first claim that you made. Okay, I apologize for stating that was the first claim you made. However, that blunder on my end is completely irrespective and irrelevant to the debate, since you can affirm that is a claim you made, regardless if it was the first or not.
Okay, once again, let me speak, Dean. It's really not that hard.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so when I made said claim about the American citizens, I was talking about the relevance, right? We've seen, I was talking about the relevance of the situation. You're talking about riots, right? You're watching a governor literally inspect what's happening in his state. He still supports them, and then he decides, after all the backlash, seeing it happening all around the country, to deploy the National Guard, right? To call for the National Guard. That is the critique that I had. Now, can I say that the President of the United States may have been wrong, right, with the J6ers? Yes, I've already established that. But to hold them to a different standard, right, would be insane in those instances. But I'm telling you that first initial claim was not about politicians. We're talking about people, and we're talking about the relevance of the situations. BLM, the rioting, the burning people's businesses down, the trying to unalive police officers is gross and disgusting. That should not have happened, and everybody can acknowledge that, right?
Are you asking?
Can you acknowledge it, Dean?
Yeah, that's bad.
Okay, right. So I can also acknowledge that what happened on that specific date was also bad. Do I think they should have been pardoned? No, I don't. Depending upon the relevancy of their sentencing or the relevancy of whatever happened to them, no, I don't. Like, I think they should have been in jail, right? They should have been tried for their actions, and things should have been taken place. I don't agree with Donald Trump on that. But what I'm saying here is that if you can't hold Gavin Newsom, right? He's the governor of California, and you're talking, I mean, there have been like mentions of him running for president, which, good God, I don't even want to know about. If you're telling me that you can't look at Gavin Newsom and say, this shouldn't have happened and you should have called the National Guard before, then that's a problem. That's what I'm saying, the double standard of things. Like, we can't hold the president of the United States, right? We can't hold him afloat when he didn't win the election, and we can't just say that Gavin Newsom wasn't doing the same thing, because he was. Eventually, he did call on the National Guard, but I'm telling you, if that doesn't show you anything in the relevance of the situations with an election and with the BLM movement, then I don't know what else to tell you. Like, we just need to focus on that.
Okay, you're done. Perfect. Yeah, in response, I don't think that these two things are the same thing at all. But let's just go and assume that they are for the debate, because this point works against you. You said that you would, and anybody should, stop supporting Gavin Newsom over his inappropriate response to the BLM riots. And then you equated his response to the BLM riots to Trump's response to J6. Therefore, you should stop supporting Trump over his response to J6.
Well, the difference is Gavin Newsom is a racist.
But you said that there was
so
no
it contradicts
difference.
His whole thing.
Wait, you just said that there was no difference. His whole thing.
Yeah, there is a difference.
No, but
I told you there was no
wasn't.
difference in the relevancy of the political
Exactly,
candidates.
you just said that there
Donald
was no
Trump,
difference and that we should hold them to the same standard.
Because Donald Trump, hold on, because
No,
Donald Trump
Chloe,
hadn't
I'm
won
so
the
sorry.
ele-
No. You literally just got done arguing that there was no difference between Donald Trump's response to J6 and Gavin Newsom's response to the BLM riots. You just got done harping on me for saying, Dean, if you're going to condemn Donald Trump, then you should also condemn Gavin Newsom, because there's absolutely no difference within the response that we saw to the respective riots. Now that you realize that response cooks yourself, you are now saying that there's a huge difference. So Chloe, which one is it? In one sentence or less, tell us. You were just suggesting there was no difference. Now you're arguing that there is a difference. So which one is it, Chloe?
Yeah, I was telling you there wasn't a difference in the political candidates given their spot in our government at the time.
Okay,
because Donald
so
Trump
then you should stop supporting
wasn't.
Trump.
No, he's the president. What are you talking about? Now he's the president.
Wait. So if Gavin Newsom was the president and he defended riots, you wouldn't stop supporting him over that? No one should stop supporting him over that? That's your position, right?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't support him personally, but I
That's
mean,
not
if
an
he was
answer
the
to my
president of the
question.
United
People
States,
shouldn't stop supporting Gavin Newsom if he was to defend rights, given that he was president. But people should stop supporting Gavin Newsom if he was to defend rights, given that he wasn't president, it was only governor, right?
Well, I've already made my stance on the Donald Trump.
That's
thing,
your
the
position,
J6ers.
right?
No, my position would be that.
No,
if
can you just
something
answer
like
my
that were
question?
to
I just want a
happen-
yes or
Hold
no.
on.
I just want a yes
I'm
or no.
trying to.
I'm sorry, you're just not giving me yes or no here. I asked you for the
Okay.
relevant difference between your position on what Gavin Newsom did in response to the BLM riots, which is you said that you believe he was defending them, which I disagree with, and then what Donald Trump did in response to J6. You said that there was no relevant difference within the action of defending the riots, but the reason why it would be a red line in which you'd argue people should stop supporting Gavin but shouldn't stop supporting Trump is because at the time Gavin was governor and Trump was president. So I just want to make it clear. I want to see if you're consistent within the logic that you are arguing. If Gavin was not governor but was rather president when he was defending the BLM riots as you suggested, you would hold to the same position you uphold about Trump, and you would argue that people shouldn't stop supporting him over supporting the riots. Right?
I mean, I guess so. Yeah. Like, if you're hear me out though. Like, if you're supporting Donald Trump, right, even after, and you can criticize him, then you can criticize Gavin Newsom. Like, what do you want to say here? I don't understand. Like, you think that you're using like my own logic against me, but I've already made my stance clear on the criticism.
So here's a very simple question: why should we hold governors to a higher standard than the president?
We're not. It's about the idea behind it. Right?
No,
I
you just
made
said that we should hold governors
clear.
to a higher standard than the president. Because you said if Gavin Newsom engaged in the same action that he did as governor, if he were to hypothetically be president, we shouldn't stop supporting him given that he was hypothetically president, but we should stop supporting him given that he was governor. So you are arguing that this action is a red line for Gavin as governor, but it's not a red line for Gavin as president. Therefore, you do think that that governor should be held to a higher standard than the president. So once again, why do you think that governor should be held to a higher standard than the president?
I wish you weren't so emotional, Dean, because if you weren't, like, you would be able to realize that, once again, I never said we should hold him to a higher standard. I said that we should be able to acknowledge both of them were bad.
I'm not emotional. I'm just simply speaking facts. You just admitted that we should hold governors to a higher standard than the president, and I will repeat myself because you said that if Gavin Newsom did this thing of defending rights while he was governor, people should stop supporting him. But if Gavin Newsom did this thing of defending rights as president, people shouldn't stop supporting him. That statement on its own is advocating. One moment. That statement on its own is an advocation for the notion that that governors should be held to a higher standard than the president. And now you're saying, no, I said it's because he's racist. That's what you said the first time, but after I drilled it down into you a little bit more, you explicitly admitted and you explicitly conceded that if Gavin Newsom engaged in those same actions, if he was hypothetically president, that quote unquote, yeah, I guess so, Dean, people shouldn't stop supporting him. You can't walk that one back because you said it explicitly, you said it clearly, and you said it to me and all of us. We all heard it, okay? So tell us all now, why do you think that governors should be held to a higher standard than presidents?
Okay, so yeah, I'll tell you. I'll dumb it down for you really quickly. So we're talking about Gavin Newsom, who is the governor of California currently. I never once said that governors should be held to a higher standard, but I see where you're getting at here, so let me explain something. So, Donald Trump, right, is the president of the United States. Yes, it did happen under whatever because of the election. We're talking about a man that could become president. If he did become president, who am I to say that people should stop supporting him if something like that had happened? People still acknowledge that it was a bad thing, but yeah, we still support him. That's neither here nor there. I'm telling you that the reason as to why these riots were irrelevant and should not be praised is because the man has contradicted himself, right? He's contradicted himself now publicly.
You're digging yourself a deep hole.
I don't care, Dean. I will sit up here and argue with you all day. I'm telling you. I'm giving you my response. Listen to me.
The hole that you're digging yourself into, the hole that you're digging yourself into is because now you're arguing that we should hold governors to a higher standard than the presidency. And the reason why you wouldn't say people should stop supporting him, given that he did this as president, but people should stop supporting him, given that he did this as governor, is because, quote unquote, who am I to tell other people to stop supporting the president? Okay, so therefore, who are you to tell other people to stop supporting the governor?
Who did I tell to stop supporting the governor? I'm confused. When did that come about?
Yeah, you affirmed that people should stop supporting Gavin Newsom as governor, given that he defended the BLM riots. That is you.
No, I told you we should hold them. We should be able to acknowledge both. I've said this like 10 times.
Wait, that's just something else that you said. You said both of these things. I'm confused now.
God,
you said both of these things.
You keep asking me these questions.
Wait, Chloe, you said both of these things, but one of the things that you've said is that it should be a red line that you and others hold against Gavin Newsom, given that he apparently defended the BLM riots. So once again, here's the question. Okay, if you're not someone that could tell others to stop supporting the president, why are you someone that could tell others to stop supporting the governor?
I'm telling you that they should be held to the same standard.
Wait. If the two things should be held to the same standard, then why earlier did you affirm that people should stop supporting him if he did this, given that he was governor? That people shouldn't stop supporting him if he did this, given that he was president? Is it not clearly holding the presidency and the governor's office to two different standards? Because you're saying,
well, yeah, but the hypothetical was that he was the president, right?
Wait, so then concede earlier.
So the hypothetical was that
wait. You just said yes. So then concede what you said less than 20 seconds ago when you said that you're holding them to the same standard, because you just admitted that you're holding them to different standards. So which one is it, Chloe?
No, I just told you the hypothetical that you gave me, right, was that he would be president, right?
Right, but you just said that we should hold the president and governors to the same standard, but now you're conceding that you're actually holding them to different standards.
Okay, but what I'm telling you is that
Can
the
you
current,
admit that that's contradictory?
right,
Yes or no?
it can't be contradictory because you gave me a hypothetical. That's not it. That's not how that works.
It can't be contradictory because it's a hypothetical? Well, I'm so sorry. That makes no goddamn sense. Regardless of the fact that it's a hypothetical or not, you said on one hand that you're going to hold the president and governors to the same standards, but on the other hand, you're going to hold the president and the governors to different standards. It doesn't matter if you're drawing that conclusion with the use of a hypothetical or a fact of what's true in the world around us. It is still contradictory.
Once again, it can be contradictory in your mind. That's fine. But my initial claim, right, was that we should be
So you
able
admit it's a contradiction.
to equate these.
Wait, so you
No.
do admit that it's a contradiction.
I mean, in your world, Dean, yes, but I don't
Wait,
think the
explain to me how
should be-
this is. Wait, explain to me how it is not contradictory in your world to suggest that simultaneously presidents and governors should be held to the same standards, while also simultaneously suggesting that presidents and governors should not be held to the same standards. In your world, how is that not contradictory?
Well, it depends upon the status of that person. If they're,
Wait,
I mean,
but
once again,
but the status of that person would be: are they governor? Are they president? And you said on one hand they should be held to the same standard, but on the other hand they shouldn't be held to the same standard. How about this? Do you even know what a
just
contradiction
told
is?
me.
Wait one second.
You
Do you
just
even
said,
know?
Chloe,
Wait one second.
what if
I'm so
he's the
sorry. Do
president?
you even know what a contradiction is?
yeah,
What's a contradiction?
it would initially you would say something, and
No,
then
no,
you would
stop.
be
What's a
going against
contradiction?
what you just said. That's
No,
literally a
that's-
contradiction. I just gave you an example.
That's not the definition of a contradiction. That's a
Well,
definition
Dean, if I had a
of
photographic
hypocrisy.
memory like you, that would be amazing, sweetie, but I
Okay,
don't.
So let me tell you what a contradiction is, because clearly you're uneducated and you don't have a goddamn clue. So a contradiction.
I
would
literally
be-
just gave you an example.
No, you didn't give me an example of a contradiction. You
I
gave me
did, but you
no,
were- you
didn't.
wouldn't stop
Chloe,
talking
I'm
long
trying to
enough to
describe
tell
to you. It's
me.
not true that you just gave me an example of a contradiction. I'm trying to educate you here.
Maybe.
No. What you gave me an example of was hypocrisy. So Chloe, another
It's-
cope laugh. I'm
it's
trying to
not
educate you here.
hypocrisy.
So what you just described is hypocrisy, because what you just described is saying one thing, then in the next moment saying another thing. That's not a definite. That's not a strict.
That's not
and
even what I
necessary-
said.
That is what you said, Chloe.
It's not. God, that is literally not what I said. See,
Okay,
Dean,
so now
this
you're
is-
just
that's
gaslighting me to
not
my face,
verbatim.
Chloe?
Are you being gaslit? Is it working?
Apparently, because you're telling me that's not what you said. So what did you say,
no,
Chloe?
Dean.
So then what did you say?
I'm telling you.
No, repeat what you said. No,
contradictions,
repeat what you said. No, repeat the original definition you gave of what a contradiction is.
Okay, what I gave you, an example of a contradiction would be saying one thing, right, and turning around and saying something of the complete opposite.
Wait,
Yeah.
bro, how's that not what I said? Because what I just said that you said was your definition of what a
verbatim.
contradiction was saying one thing, then turning around and saying something else. Okay?
That's
Right?
not the same, Dean. You can acknowledge.
It absolutely is the same thing, Chloe. I don't know what to tell you. I'm so sorry that you're coping. That is the exact same thing.
It's not.
Okay, Chloe. I'm sorry that you're getting cooked so hard that you have to deny reality. It's not my fault that I'm making you crash out.
No.
Thank you so much for the
I want to
diamond
say
gym
something
gun.
really quickly.
Okay, whatever.
Let
That
me
is
state it,
absolutely-
Dean.
No, Chloe. I'm sorry if you interrupt
Do
me. I'm
not
just gonna,
run.
If you interrupt me, I'm just going to remove you from the live, Chloe. So I would highly recommend not running away by interrupting me. But anyways, so those two things are communicating the same sentiment. You're saying that they're not communicating the same sentiment. Whatever. We'll just go along with your original statement. You said saying one thing, then turning around and saying the opposite. So that's not necessarily a contradiction. So the strict definition of what a contradiction would be is affirming the affirmation of a premise while simultaneously affirming the negation of a premise. And the reason why the definition which you gave was not technically a contradiction is because you didn't add that simultaneous bit on. So I could say that, like, on one breath my shoes are red, and then turn around and say that my shoes are green, while also disputing the original claim that my shoes are red. So therefore it's not a contradiction. And what makes a contradiction would be simultaneously affirming both the affirmation and the negation of the premise simultaneously. And see, the contradiction that is true of your view is you're affirming the proposition to be true, that we should hold presidents and governors to the same standards, while simultaneously affirming the negation of that proposition to be true, which is we should not hold presidents and governors to the same standards. So because you're affirming both of those two propositions at the same time, it is true that it is contradictory. Can you admit that that is contradictory, yes or no?
I will not, because you gave me a hypothetical.
Wait, I'm so sorry. So you're saying that it's not a contradiction because I used a hypothetical to yield the contradiction? That doesn't make any sense.
No, Dean, you're not grasping this. You gave me a hypothetical in which Gavin Newsom was the president. Would a president and another president not be held to the same standard?
Wait, I'm so sorry. Now you're saying that you can't admit that that was a contradiction because I used a hypothetical to yield this contradiction. How about this? Can you admit that when you argue in affirmation of the notion that presidents and governors should be held to the same standard, while simultaneously arguing in negation of the proposition that presidents and governors should be held to the same standard, that is saying, like, I don't even have another way to word this. Like, how can you argue that that's not a contradiction? Like for example, that's like the same thing as you arguing that your shoes are simultaneously blue and not blue. Right? Clearly, that's a contradiction. That's like you arguing that a circle is a square. That's clearly a contradiction. Okay? Like, it doesn't matter that I used a hypothetical in order to yield the contradiction. The fact that I was able to yield this contradiction at all under your view is true. Right? Like, do you affirm that hypotheticals can contain contradictions?
That hypotheticals can contain contradictions?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, of course.
Okay. Wait, so if you affirm that hypotheticals can contain contradictions, then your argument there, Dean, I can't admit that that's a contradiction because it was hypothetical, is now fallen flat on its face because you just conceded that hypotheticals
not even the argument that I made.
Can contain contradictions.
That's not the argument that I made, Dean. The argument that I made was that you gave me a hypothetical in which Gavin Newsom would have been the president. Therefore, they should be held to the same standard considering they were both presidents, right?
But
that was a hypothetical that you gave me.
That Gavin Newsom should be held to a different standard given that he's hypothetically president, given that compared to if he was governor. That's the contradiction.
That's not a... How is that a contradiction?
Because in the breath before, you argue that presidents should be held to the same standard as governors.
And when did I say that?
You said that like less than 10 minutes ago.
Because he was hypothetically the president? Yeah.
Okay, so you admit that you said that presidents should be held to the same standard.
If he was
as governors.
hypothetically the president.
Yes, exactly. You just admitted it. You just admitted that presidents should be held to the same standard as governors, while simultaneously arguing that if Gavin was president, he should be held to a different standard than if Gavin was governor. So you do understand how that's contradictory, right?
It's okay. I'm going to break this down for you really quickly. Because
wait, I'm so sorry. I'm either going to give you 10 seconds to admit that that's contradictory or just move on to the next guess. 10,
yeah, just move on to the
9,
next guest then.
8.
Toodles.
7.
Love you guys. Thank you for the
So you're not
gifts.
going to admit that that's contradictory? Oh, she just left on her own. All right. Well, she got absolutely fucking rocked. Let's go to move on to the next guest. I really hope that was able to sway some people out of the Trump cult because it's just so clear that the people inside of the Trump cult have no fucking clue what they're talking about. Chloe, I do appreciate you for joining the stream and allowing me to absolutely fucking intellectually rock you and destroy your argument. Let's go to move on to the next Trump supporter and do the same thing again. Here we go. All right. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA, please and thank you. Let's go to rock the intellectual shit of the next guest too. Here we go. Hi, do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you?
Only in limitations. Also, how the hell did I just join an instant get guest?
You got lucky. I selected you out of the middle of the guest request, so you got really lucky.
Bam.
So let me ask you a question. Knowing everything that you do now, if the election were held tomorrow between Kamala Harris and Trump, who would you vote for?
Trump.
Okay, sounds good. All right, I'm going to go and thank a couple people, then I'll go and pass that mic off to you. Leslie, thank you so much for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat, who says, this girl is hurting my brain. Appreciate you for the $10, Leslie. Leslie, that's what they try to do. They try to hurt your brain by muddying the water and saying incoherent bullshit gibberish. All right? But see, the thing is that doesn't work on me because I've been doing this for so long, and I debate a lot of people who spew incoherent bullshit gibberish. So, basically, a really good example of the way Chloe was arguing was imagine that Chloe just started spamming random words, and then that was her counter argument to everything that I said. Because that's essentially what she did. But I do really appreciate you so much for the love, Leslie. It's almost like button mashing on, Mortal Kombat, for instance. I'm sure that many viewers of the live stream have had this experience growing up where they're playing Mortal Kombat or a similar game against one of their friends that's pretty damn skilled at the game because they play it every day. And then their only strat is to button mash to see if it will go anywhere. That was basically what Chloe was doing in the debate. And that's why she hurt your brain. Trev, thank you so much for the $5 over on YouTube Super Chat as well. Show some love to Trev down below. Thank you so much for that love, man. Thank you so much for that love. Piss Ghost, thank you for the $2. Duck, thank you for the $10. She says, first time donating. Your streams make the last hour or so of my work go by much quicker. Hell yes, Doug. Thank you for the $10, man. And then a Corner, that is CORNER. Thank you so much for the $25 over on Super Chat. Corner, thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate you. Corner with the 25 says, quit laughing like a sick goose with a can of steroids rammed up its butt and form at least a halfway decent argument, caller. You're serving no evidence with a side of half of a brain cell and an entree of zero self-awareness. I really hope that Chloe's still here so she could hear that. Thank you so much for the $25 rights. And then Amy, I appreciate you for the $20 as well, who says how to donate again. And I based this solely on the number of times that she denied her own claims in real time. I counted 8 and I started halfway in. I made an agreement with myself that if it's over 5, I'd send more money. Thanks, Chloe. Well, thank you, Chloe, as well, for contradicting yourself so much. So Amy supported more. Appreciate you for the $20, Amy. Let's get 200 Amy W's. Car, thank you for the 10. Then Colin, thank you so much for the 10. I really appreciate you guys. We are all caught up over on Super Chat. Angeline, thank you so much for the Galaxy on TikTok as well. And then we're quickly going to catch up on Venmo and PayPal. On Venmo, Bill, thank you so much for the $1. Thank you for letting me know about that, Bill. Jory, that is Jori, thank you so much for the $15 donation over on Venmo. Who says, Dean, Oregon Millennial here. Your retention, knowledge, and patience is impressive. Well, thank you so much for the love. Jory also added on that Collar was smug and revising history. Oh, fucking completely, dude. Thank you so much for the love, man. I really appreciate you for the $15, Jory. Alana, thank you for the $5. Natalie, thank you for the $5. Dana, thank you for the $5. And Gina, thank you so much for the $8. It looks like we're all caught up over on Venmo. Let's quickly catch up on PayPal. Calder, that is Calder. Thank you so much for the $20 donation. Calder didn't attach a message to the donation, just sent that love. Appreciate you so much, man. Show some love to Calder down below. SJ, thank you for the $15. Who says probably gonna miss the stream today, but wanted to send you some love and support as always. Well, I hope you have a great day, SJ. And don't worry, I do these every day. Thank you so much for the love and support, and I hope you have, like I just said, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And then let's also see here. Oh my god, dude. Holy shit, man.
You good?
No, I'm fine. Delilah! Thank you. Thank you so much for the $200 donation over on PayPal. Holy shit, Delilah. That is so incredibly kind of you. That is so much money. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for the love and support, Delilah. That is Daliah. Like I've said many times in the past, I'm always like so fucking surprised when you guys send such kind donations. Like, I don't fucking deserve that much love. I don't. And Delilah, I'm so grateful for you. I want to see W's for Delilah in the chat for at least the next 10 minutes. That is so fucking kind of you. Delilah with the 200 says, this is my first time donating. I've been watching you for a while, and I just want to say, as an SA survivor, I appreciate all you do and the way that you educate people who are ignorant on the subject. Thank you, Dean. Well, I'm so happy that you think that we do something positive here, Delilah. I try my very, very best to get people in the know, advocate for people to think more critically, and be educated on these subjects, especially subjects such as SA. And I'm so absolutely grateful for you. Show some massive, massive love to Delilah down below in that comment section. Brent, thank you for the $25 donation over on PayPal. He says, can you please bring up the fact that a J6 writer was recently arrested for being a pedo, is now in life doing prison? Yup! As well as Jake Lang, who just got exposed for texting a 15-year-old. So many of them have been threats to society after getting pardoned by Trump. Okay, right, which is also contradictory to his whole campaign notion, because he said that we need to get the violent criminals off the streets, keep them safe for American citizens, but he's the one making them unsafe for 15-year-old girls, because some of the people that he's pardoned, let out of jail, have gone on to take advantage of little fucking girls. Thank you so much for making that good point. Thank you for the $25. And then Nina, thank you so much for the 30 euros. Let's get 300 Nina W's. Nina with the 30 says, hey, from Austria, listening in to you in Parker every day. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you so much, Nina. Hell yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Caroline, thank you for the 20, who says, I support you because I believe in what you're doing, and I think it's very important, just like with Santana and Parker. I want to contribute for all of our sakes, and I will keep doing it whatever way I can. Love to everyone. Well, love to you, Caroline. I'm so grateful for you, and I really appreciate just how important you think what we do here is. Please show some love to Caroline down below. And it looks like we just have 3 more here. The first one is from Calder again. Thank you for another $20 donation on PayPal, Calder. He says, I'm mixed, get adopted from a MAGA conservative family in Oregon, and watching you helps me express my viewpoints on so many topics without being uneducated. I appreciate you, Dean. Well, I really appreciate you for paying attention to the streams and taking something positive away from them. And Calder, I wouldn't doubt it that you could go out there and change minds with what we talk about here on stream. So I'm so fucking grateful for you. And then just 2 more here. Miss Carrie, that is Carrie. Thank you so very much for the $50 donation on Venmo. Holy shit, Carrie. Carrie, it's good to see you again today. You've been here for the last couple days, showing up and showing out. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for your support. Carrie with a 50 says, for therapy and your girlfriend's birthday. Carrie, you've sent a handful of donations for the girlfriend's birthday. Just know I appreciate the ever-living hell out of you, and that is so fucking kind of you. I want to see 500 Carrie W. Same thing to you, Miranda. Thank you for the 20, who says, first time donating. I've been watching you and Parker for a while now. Just want to say I appreciate all the amazing work that you do. Take care of your mental health. Oh, thank you so much, Miranda. And then Jory, another Jory here, Jori, sorry, why? Thank you so much for the $25, who says, feels like I'm listening to a Food Network the way that you're cooking. Yeah, bro, we're chefing it up in here, Jory. Thank you so much for the $25. Thank you, everyone, so much for the love and support. Let's go and hop back into those debates. If you want to support me and what we do here, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok, pin message on YouTube, and the handle is also at the top of the phone screen. Go ahead and take it away, man. I appreciate your patience. Tell us how the hell you still support this terrible president, Mr. Trump.
I just have like a few questions about that stuff. So, is it all right to be conservative and not like Trump?
Yes. You could absolutely be a Republican and not like Trump.
Would you say you're more conservative or more liberal?
Way more liberal.
All right. Do you know excessive liberal and excessive conservative?
What is that?
Like where you go around beating up or hurting people who don't agree with your beliefs.
Are you saying like super far right or super far left?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm like decently far left, but like I don't beat people up.
Not too far. All right.
Well, I mean, I would say that the people further left than me are further left than me because of different ideas on like economics, like socialism and communism, not because they want to beat people up, but. I mean, does this mean that you consider like Donald Trump excessively far right because he called for the execution of Democrats in Congress?
Way too far right.
So then why do you support him as president?
I support his ideas more than him. Like,
okay, well, is he effectively executing upon those ideas?
No, I'm talking about like the idea of him trying to make America great again. I don't think it was ever great.
Actually making America great again?
No.
Okay, that's so then you shouldn't support him as president.
I'm just trying to say, like, I support his ideas more than his actions.
Okay, but you admit that his actions are contradictory to that of his ideas. So in other words, you're saying that you support his virtue signaling, and he sounds good on paper because he says he's going to revitalize the economy. He says he's going to kick us into the golden age. He says that he's going to be good for everyone. But then in all reality, when we actually put him in the Oval, he does the exact opposite. Right? This is actually a really good reason to not support Trump as president because he's a man of baseless promises that he never pulls through on. And he basically swindles you and the American people into believing in this dream of his when in all reality, he only uses the Oval Office to serve his interests, not yours.
Fair enough, fair enough. Why do you vape, though?
It's an anxiety pin, lavender and caramel, buddy.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough.
Let's go to get that next guest up in here. Momo is being really, really cute right now. She's actually sitting at my feet. I noticed that she came into the office. So I put a blanket.
Yeah, Dean, I just want to know what's like with the racist allegations with no receipts whatsoever.
Okay, get out of here. Moving on to the next guest. Only join inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president, y'all. Only join inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. And oh my goodness. Today is the day for everybody. Donald, you got to turn the TV off. For everybody who doesn't know the guest that we have connected into the stream right now, I mean, you certainly have no clue if you're watching on YouTube because you have no way to see who the guest is. This is Donald Robinson, who is a conservative content creator who is obsessed with me, obsessed with Parker, obsessed with Santana, and he makes videos about us all day, every day. Posting from his fucking bedroom. He also watches my stream all day, every day. And what he will post about will be like recordings of him watching my stream on like his laptop, his TV, so on and so forth. And then saying, oh, Dean, crazy, radical, crazy person. And I've been trying to get Donald to join for months now. I send him an invitation every single time I see him in the chat. In fact, if you're a little bit more of a frequent viewer of the live stream, you'll remember a couple days ago where he was like spamming in the chat. I was inviting him up and he wasn't joining. But now he's here. Donald, I sent you an invite to turn that microphone on.
Wow, it's funny how you call obsession when pretty much it's exposing you for the person you really are. So I'm actually doing people a service. But hey, I mean, especially for Liv, who has a black girlfriend, and you pretty much are the racist that you are.
Wait, because Liv has a black girlfriend, I'm therefore racist?
Yeah, I heard about the racial comments that you put it out there. So, I mean, you call me
Wait,
obsessed, but
what is anything about somebody else having a black girlfriend have to do with the claim that I'm racist?
you make fun of black people, yeah, you're gonna be called a racist, just like Gavin Newsom.
I make fun
When
of
Gavin
black
Newsom
people?
said
Wait.
he was the same.
When have I ever made fun
Hey,
of black people?
truth hurts, buddy.
When have I ever
Tell that to
made fun of black people?
tell that to the fish girl. Hey, I can't help it. People tell
I've
me
made fun of Fish Girl, but A, if she was black, I wouldn't be making fun of her because she's black, but B, she's not black. She's white.
still doesn't mean you can make fun of people's race, religion, or
But I never
anything else.
I never made fun of anybody's race.
That's not what I hear.
Okay, what do you hear? What's an example of me making fun of a black person because they're black?
Well, I hear that you made fun of her girlfriend.
No, we know nothing about Liv's girlfriend.
People tell me things. Hey, I ain't afraid to tell people the truth because that's what matters most.
Truth is what matters most. Well, then I guess you'd have evidence for the claim that I've made fun of a black person. So could we see it?
I have Liv right here to tell you. Let me invite her in.
I'm not going to have Liv up because she's a troll. And I actually got to remove you too because you just got a flag for hate speech and hateful behaviors. No, I won't have her up. In fact, I'm even just going to stop saying her name because she's just a troll. I mean, she's not like a serious person. She does it for clicks. And clearly I'm not going to just, give the platform to somebody who wants to do it for clicks. But he actually just got a flag. I don't know what that was for. Let's go. Yeah, we just need to stop mentioning her. Hi, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
I am 34 years old.
And how long do you expect him to believe that for?
Okay, sorry, I'm actually British, bro.
All right, goodbye. Moving on to the next guest here. Only up inside of that queue if you want to come up here and have a conversation with me about why you are a Trump supporter. We got Jared loading in. Christiane, thank you for the $5 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. Catherine, thank you for the $5 as well. And then Lexi, thank you so much for the $5 too. Thank you so much, you three. Thank you. Over on Super Chat, thank you so much for the $20. Mama Lisa. Lisa with the 20 says, love that you always stand up for survivors. Get Momo some toys. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll spend that on some toys for Momo. I appreciate you, Lisa. And yeah, we always stand up for what's right. Thank you so much. Same thing to you, B-E-E. Thank you so much for the $20. Who says, I'm watching on a delay, but your kindness for the first guest made me a little emotional. You're a good egg. Oh, thank you so much for the love, B. Thank you so much, Lisa and B. I would also like to thank YG. YG, thank you so much for the $20 as well. Who says, it's my first donation. I love watching your videos and lives. It's educational, and I love hearing people get mad because they're wrong, even though they give me a headache sometimes, but it's worth it. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for the $20. Lisa, B, and YG. And then Leslie, thank you so much for the $20 as well. Who says, I will not stop being annoyed and bringing up the fact that a J6er is running for Oregon governor, and it pisses me off that I think too hard about it. I wish that they weren't pardoned. Those pardons did so much damage. Leslie, I think that those pardons have done a lot more damage than we could even comprehend now and in the long term. Thank you so much, Leslie, Lisa, YG, and B. Those are all the super chats. We'll hop back into the debates now. Make sure to show some love to Leslie, Lisa, YG, and B down below in that comment section, you guys. Thank you all so much for the love. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
36.
And why do you happen to support the worst president of your life?
I wouldn't say he's the worst president.
Okay, I would, but that's what we're here to debate.
I believe he's done a good justice for the American people.
And what's that justice?
Putting us first.
How's he put us first?
Implementing the things he needs to be implementing, like
Like what?
Deportation. Illegal immigration is a big deal to me. I love immigration, but illegal immigration, there's a fine line there.
Okay.
I believe immigration is a good thing for the country. It always has been. But,
is that the only way you think he's put us first?
Well, he puts us first in all kinds of ways. I love what he's doing in Iran. I love what he's doing in Iran with bunker busters. I love what he's doing. So that's
putting us first?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Definitely. All right. What are the other ways he's putting us first?
Oh, there's so many, Dean.
Okay, name them all. I'm writing them down.
Name them all. I've highlighted the main subjects. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how you cherry pick the negative, but you never highlight the positive.
Well, unironically, I'm asking you to highlight the positive right now.
I already did.
Okay, so that's so Donald Trump is putting America first. There's deportations and war in Iran, right?
Sure.
Okay. Delusional, insane, crazy, thumbs down. Let's, I guess, work back to front. So you said that he's putting us first with the war in Iran. I don't think many people agree with you there. The neocons in Congress have been wrong about their foreign policy and engagement in the Middle East and many other places around the globe in every single decision that they've made in the last 70 years. Every time that we've gone into the Middle East, every time that we've tried to coup another government, create a regime change, it always leads to bloody civil war, war with America, millions of lost lives, and then it leads to the creation of a power vacuum, which is then filled by more authoritarian regimes. This happened in Libya, this happened in Syria, this happened in Iraq, this happened in Afghanistan, and unironically, this happened in Iran before. And every single time, it just ends costing the lives of more American troops and the lives of more children and innocent men and women overseas. The only people who are put first in this decision are the rich execs getting fat off of the defense contracts, the congressmen and women who are getting loaded off of the lobbyists and PACs, okay, and the presidents who are able to use the war, quote unquote, as a means to attempt to bring the people together to increase their own approval rating.
I agree with pretty much everything you just said, but I do also believe that it's too soon to tell, and everything Trump has done has been different compared to every other president, even on the Republican side.
No, it's not been different. He's literally been repeating the same arguments we heard in the early 2000s. Weapons of mass destruction. They're going to hit us if we don't hit them. Literally everything that we've already heard before. And if you agree with everything that I just said, then you would agree that the war in Iran is not putting America first, and that's likely why Donald Trump promised no new wars when he was running for president in the first place. In fact, that leaves me with a really good question. If you think that Donald Trump going to war with Iran is what puts America first, then do you think that he was putting America last when he ran on no new wars?
I believe initially he thought he was going to go with no new wars, but Iran has been throwing their fists up talking about, you know what, unalive America, America this, America that. And they've
been doing that since the 70s. So was he putting America last? Was he putting America last when he ran on no new wars?
Was he putting America last when he ran on no new wars? No, I believe he really sincerely believed that was his intention, was no new wars.
Okay, but see, the thing is the intention of no new wars is antithetical to the intention of a new war. So if you think, and you'd argue here, that the intention of a new war is what puts America first, then the intention of no new war is clearly not putting America first.
No. See, what I'm saying is, wars, of course, are bad.
Wait,
wars are terrible.
Let me give you an example here. You said that the intention of wanting to do mass deportation is putting America first, right?
Yes.
So therefore, we could logically conclude that you think the intention of not wanting to do a mass deportation is not putting America first, right?
Well, it's a 50-50 cut there. Like, I believe it should just be deporting felons and certain ones. I don't think it should be everybody like he is. I think that's a little extreme. I'm not far right, but if a couple good apples have to go to get rid of the bad apples, it's just the way it is.
Okay, we're going to have a really long debate about that here in a moment, but I wanted to see if I could get an answer to my question here so I could relevantly defeat your argument about war in Iran. Sure. But that was a crazy comment that I hope we'll have a chance to debate in a bit. So you think the intention of wanting to deport bad undocumented immigrants is putting America first, right?
Yes.
So then you'd argue that the intention of not wanting to deport bad undocumented immigrants is not putting America first, right?
Of course. Why would we want to feed them in their prison?
And that would logically follow. Because you're basically saying doing X, whatever X is, it's just a variable, is putting this country first. Therefore, not doing X is not putting this country first. And you affirm this as it would relate to deportation. So why can't you affirm this as it relates to war? Because you said doing X, doing war with Iran is putting America first. Therefore, not doing X, not doing war with Iran is not putting America first. Do you understand how that would follow? So therefore, in accordance with your argument here, Donald Trump was not putting America first when he campaigned on no new war, because that meant no war with Iran, and you're categorizing war with Iran as putting America first. It just logically follows.
Depends on the subject.
It doesn't depend on the subject. That's just logic.
Well, this ain't science here. This is politics. It depends on the subject.
Well, we're using logic inside of politics, which I know is something that you're not used to.
Honestly, I'm not. I know you have a higher IQ than I do.
Well, would you argue that, like, when Trump was running for president, no new war in Iran was putting America first, but now the opposite is putting America first?
Well, yeah, but I mean, then things have changed.
Yeah, what has changed since Donald Trump promised no new war that makes war good now but war bad then? What has changed?
Nuclear threats.
I mean, the only thing that has changed within the nuclear threat that Iran purports is a lower threat, since we blew up all of their enrichment facilities 3 months ago. They purport a lower threat of possessing nuclear weapons today than they did before the 2024 election.
Did you support the bunker busters?
No, and I could have a long conversation with you about why, but that's a whole different subject.
Sure. Sure, yeah. I just believe that if someone's a threat to the American people, especially with nuclear weapons, and they continuously threaten us with nuclear weapons, and they're developing nuclear weapons, even if we destroyed their new nuclear weapon development.
You're not listening to what I'm saying, though. You said when Donald Trump was running for the presidency, a war with Iran would have been bad. It would have been unjust. That's why it was a good promise, that there was going to be no new wars. But now you're saying a year and a half later that a war with Iran is good and that it needs to happen. It's totally justified. And that's why we're going back to war with Iran today. And then I asked you, well, what changed? Why was war bad a year and a half ago but war good today? And you're telling me, well, because of this threat of nuclear weapons. But, like, clearly, in accordance with the pro-Trump worldview, there was a larger threat of nuclear weapons when he was running for office compared to today, because what has happened after he started running for office was the total obliteration, quote unquote, of all of their enrichment facilities with the bunker blasters 4 months ago. So do you clearly see here how your logic just simply doesn't track?
Well, so I believe during the time when he said no new wars, I said that's a great thing. I believe he'll be able to, with his mouthpiece and his business movement, with his business mindset, he'd be able to minimize their, the path they're going down as far as threatening us and continuously building nuclear power. And that didn't seem to work out too well. So it seems like the next step would be to take further action. So that's how it's changed.
I'm sorry, you're just not listening, bro. It's really upsetting me, if I'm going to be honest. This is, like, actually really upsetting me because you're just not listening to what I'm saying. Does Iran purport a larger nuclear threat today or a year and a half ago?
Honestly, I believe the bunker busters may have minimized it, but their actions and their
So just answer my question. Does Iran purport a larger nuclear threat today or a year and a half ago?
Of course, when they had the development, after the bunker busters.
A larger nuclear threat a year and a half ago, right?
Of course they were, because Trump made them less of a nuclear threat with the bunker busters,
Okay. But see, this is contradictory to the argument that you provided insofar as why no war was good a year and a half ago and war was good today. Because you said what has changed in the last year and a half to justify war now, compared to it not being justified a year and a half ago, was the nuclear threat in which they purport. But now you're simultaneously telling us that they actually purport less of a nucular threat today than they did a year and a half ago. Do you see how it's contradictory?
No, of course. Yeah, well, the way you're putting it is, but like I said,
it's not the way I put it. That's the way you put it. You said that they purport a lower nuclear threat today than they did a year and a half ago. You said that. That's the way I'm putting it. That's the way you put it.
They do, but at the same time, they still have the motivation to continue developing them, and that's just we got to put our foot down.
Did they have that motivation a year and a half ago?
They did, yeah.
So then why was no war with them justified a year and a half ago?
Because we did the bunker busters. That was the plan.
No, answer my question. Why was no war justified with them a year and a half ago?
want to say, I'll be honest with you. I'm not saying it wasn't justified. I just said that the idea of not having war.
Yes. Because you said that Donald Trump was putting America first by running on no new war. But now you're saying it wasn't justified for Donald Trump
no, of course,
to run on no new war. So that's also a contradiction. How can you simultaneously argue, that Donald Trump was putting America first by running on this unjust policy that was inevitably bad for us of no new war because they were building nuclear weapons, they weren't going to stop, and they had all of this enriched uranium?
Both ideas put America first.
Wait, no, that's contradictory. You can't say that. You
Yes.
can't say that it puts America first to not go to war with Iran while simultaneously arguing that it puts America first to go to war with Iran.
I can. Yes, I can.
There's no way. No, you can't.
Why not?
Because those two actions are the complete opposite of one another.
They are, yes.
But so you can't argue that they both lead to the same outcome of putting America first.
No, because either way you're putting America first. Cause
No, how though?
It's a win-win. Either we
how
don't
is
go
it a
to
win?
war.
Wait, how is it a win-win?
Okay, so we don't go to war and we destroy their nuclear-sized bunker busters, and then they give up. Oh, that's great. But if they don't give up, apparently we have to make them give up, right? It's a win-win, right?
No, I just think that you're bullshitting us all now. So just to clarify, though, let's see if you could be consistent. That Donald Trump was putting America last when he pulled us out of the JCPOA, which was an agreement and which denuclearized Iran, and then when he pulled us out of the JCPOA, that then greenlit Iran into further development of nuclear weapons, right?
That was putting us last. That was not a good thing for him to do.
Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm gonna move on to the next guest just because I think that your argument is completely incoherent and very reminiscent of Chloe. And I could only debate so many people that are completely incoherent and very reminiscent of Chloe. But I hope you have a good rest of your day. We're gonna move on to the next guest, Ryler. Dude, it's all bullshit, man.
Dean, I love you. Dean, I love you.
I really appreciate you so much for this board. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to ban you for breaking the third rule, which is be MAGA. If you want to know what the rules are before you join the live to have a conversation with me, take a look at that phone screen over on TikTok. Let's go to move on to the next guest right now. Make sure that you're following our rules. We got Jen, Texas, loading up into the box. Someone in the YouTube chat says mention Israel, Dean. Yeah, that would have been good to mention. Yeah, like why is being Israel's dog putting us first, right? Like Marco Rubio said it himself, right? We were forced into this engagement, quote unquote, with Iran because Israel forced our hand, saying that they're going to strike Iran whether we like it or not, and then inevitably Iran was going to strike back against us. So Israel forced us to go fight their war for them because inevitably they knew they couldn't win it on their own. That's not putting America first. Moving on to the next guest right now, only up inside of the queue of your MAGA. Please and thank you. I'd really appreciate it. Hi, do you support Trump?
What was that?
Apollo. What's that background noise, bro?
It's a industrial fan. Hold on, let me turn it off, actually.
Yeah, if you could turn off the industrial fan, that would be very kind of you.
Blue collar, you know?
Yeah, do you support Trump?
I do.
All right. How old are you?
26.
Okay, I'm going to thank
1999, August 26.
I'm going to thank a couple people, then the mic and the floor will be yours to tell us.
Right, like last time. Like last time.
Yeah, exactly like last time, yes.
Continue.
All right, I'll continue. Hey, Anthony, dude, thank you so much for another donation over on YouTube. Anthony, I really appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for the 50.
I enjoyed this as much as you.
Okay. Can I finish thanking Anthony?
You can.
Okay. Anthony, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on YouTube Super Chat. I really appreciate you so much, man. That is the second one of the day, and just know that I really appreciate you. Thank you. Anthony with a big 50 says, Dean, you are one of us. Truth teller, human, empathetic, and articulate. These people's ears don't hear jack, or they refuse. Dude, Anthony, I couldn't have said it better myself, man. Thank you so much for the love. I really hope that you're enjoying today's stream. You've been so very kind. I would really appreciate it if everyone watching could show some very special love to Anthony down below. I'm going to put this guy on mute just because of the background noise. Carly, that is Carlie, thank you so much for the $14 donation over on PayPal. He says, this is my first donation. You make my day.
It was a sliding door.
Thank you so much for everything that you do. I really appreciate you so much for the love, Carly. Thank you. And then Julian, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal, who said, hey, Dean, my payday just hit and I wanted to send something your way. By the way, what do you think of Trump's saying the legal age is 6 years old. I sent the video in your
He
Discord.
does this to me every time, by the way.
One moment. I did see that clip, Julian. I think it was a little bit of a Freudian slip from Trump's end of him talking about how he really feels about women and girls. Thank you so much for the $20, Julian. Let's get 200 Julian W's down below. Thank you. Jerry, Jeri, thank you so much for the $10. He says, love listening to your debates. One moment. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Well, thank you so much for the love, Jerry. And then Natasha, thank you so much for the $5 over on PayPal as well. And over on Venmo, Lali, that is Lelii. Lali, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. 200 Lali W's down below in the chat. Thank you for supporting me in what we do here. Lali says, remember Trump sent that letter last year to Norway letting us all know that he was going to do this because he didn't get the prize. Oh, that's right, Lali. Yeah, he is on a path of war-torn vengeance because he didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, Apollo, you're saying that this is the second time I've done this to you, and you're very mad. Why are you so pissed that I'm thanking my donors? Like, wouldn't you prefer me to do it before we start engaging in a debate compared to once we're in the middle of it?
I mean, what you've done to the previous, requesters.
Yeah, like, I do
Let's
get donations.
Get to the point, right?
Wait, 1 second, I want to clarify here. I get donations throughout the course of the live stream. Would you prefer me to thank the people who send in donations over the course of the live stream before we start our debate, so that I'm not thanking them in the middle of the debate, all right? And we could have a natural, flowing debate about why you support Trump. Or would you prefer me to, thank them randomly, spontaneously, with interruptions in the middle of our conversation? Like, which one would you prefer? Sir, you're muffling your mic, Apollo. Just tell me which one you'd prefer. If you would genuinely prefer me to thank them randomly and spontaneously during the conversation,
stop hyper-focusing. Let's not hyper-focus, you know?
What is the point?
What's the point?
The point is just trying to create an environment
to support
which serves
Trump,
to your best
right?
interests here. Can you please answer the question?
What was the question?
Would you prefer me to thank all of the donors before we start the debate? Or would you prefer me
I don't
to
care.
You don't
I really don't care.
Clearly you do, because you've brought it up.
You're hyper-focusing. Let's calm down a bit. Lower the cortisol and focus on the point.
My cortisol is perfectly low. I just am asking a question that I'd like
Lower
to
the
answer.
cortisol.
Yeah, my
Hyper-focus
cortisol is
on the point.
perfectly fine. Can you answer the question?
Why am I a Trump supporter? Or
No.
which one?
No, because you voiced frustrations about me thanking donors before we hopped into the debate.
You think I'm frustrated? I'm not.
Okay, it doesn't matter because you voice frustrations.
Okay.
So would you prefer
It doesn't matter to
thank
me
them all?
when
Okay, it
you
doesn't matter to you.
thank your supporters, whether it's in the beginning, middle, or the end.
Sounds
I
good.
do
So
not
I'm just
really
going to go
care.
and thank a couple more people real quick since it doesn't matter to you. Tanya,
It
thank you
doesn't.
so much for the $1 over on Venmo. What's going on, Tanya? Anna Sophia, thank you so much for the $30 donation over on Venmo. That is ANASOFIA. Show some love to Anna Sophia down below in that comment section. I really appreciate you so much. Anna Sophia with the 30 says, I've had such a rough week. Your lives are getting me through it. Thank you. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for the love. Thank you. Wait, it shouldn't matter to you, so shut the hell up. Thank you so much, Anna Sophia, for the $30. Let's get 300 Anna Sophia W's down below. Dylan, thank you for the $10. Who says it doesn't matter to you, so you should really shut the hell up, Apollo. Dylan with the 10 says blue collar, blue voter here. I always have been. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. And then Michelle, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo for the quote unquote Momo's Toy Fun. Oh, it seems like it matters to you, but thank you so much for the $25, Michelle. Let's get 250 Michelle W's. I really appreciate you so much. And then one last year from Jory over on Venmo. That is JORY. Jory with the $40 and the 68 cents on Venmo. That is so much money. I'm so grateful for you. Shut up. It shouldn't matter to you. Jory with the $40. That is so very kind of you, man. Thank you so much for the love and support. Jory with the 40 says, Dean, your streams are basically, I'm going to have to mute you because you're interrupting like a bad boy. Jory with the 40 says, your streams are basically a guilty pleasure of mine as of lately. Listen, it works. Bad boy, be quiet. It helps the day go by much quicker. So sick of the America First slogan. Quote unquote America First from people wearing made in China hats and people doubting that we need to go back to war. We need to kill some Americans. It's inevitable. It happens. And we need to destabilize our economy and others, right? So America First. Bad boy, shut up. I'm still thanking my donors. I'd also like to quickly thank, this will be super duper quick, by the way, Miha, that is, I'm just going to call you M. Thank you for the $11 over on PayPal, who says, I'm an 18-year-old student from Finland, been watching for some time. But
I think I've been your best.
You need to be quiet. but these lives are a nighttime activity. Well, I appreciate you so much for being here,
I know, I'm
and I hope that
sorry.
you're enjoying the streams. Be quiet! Thank you so much for the $11. Then Robert, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal, who says, Apollo's racist. He DM'd me and told me that I lost in life because I'm black. Is that true?
Oh, you're talking to me now?
Yeah, did you DM somebody and tell them that that they lost in life because they're black?
What was the question?
Have you DM'd somebody and told them that they lost in life because they're black? Is that true?
Hyper-focusing?
Hyper-focusing is not a yes or no. What the hell are you saying?
No.
That's not something you
My
said?
answer is no.
Okay.
No. No,
Okay.
no.
Do you promise?
I do promise, Dean.
Okay. I will hesitantly believe you because that's just something a donor said. But here's
Or
the
a
thing.
blue collar is just racist.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing. I want everybody to listen into what I'm about to say. Me hesitantly believing you is going to rest on exactly what you tell me inside of this debate. And I think it will become very clear to every single person watching the stream if you did or did not DM somebody telling them that they lost in life because they're black, based upon what you say. So tell us all, why do you support Trump as president?
Okay. Let's lower the cortisol real quick. But I'm not racist to begin with, but I would like to continue the debate that we had on the first time that I requested, where the blue collar, like the portion helped American blue collars actually get a position in the jobs. Because that's the original point that I even joined. So I would like to get back to that.
Are you drunk?
And that is, what's up?
Are you drunk?
I'm not.
Okay, go ahead.
Why would you say I'm drunk? I'm slurring?
You're kind of a little bit on top of just like generally sounding incoherent.
Well, I'm not.
Okay, go ahead. So what's the argument? Why do you support Trump? Are you lowering your cortisol right now? Is that what's going on?
That's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, Wes, thank you.
You just said I'm drunk, but
no, I didn't.
I've actually been like 6 or 7 years sober. I'm Christian, celibate, so I am lowering my cortisol.
Okay, lower that cortisol. You sound a little bit stressed out, buddy. Lower that cortisol.
Right. Compared to your other guest, I sound stressed out.
Very.
Anyways, why I support Trump, because he just represents the ideal of America. America should stand up, should be a beacon of hope. Whether you say we shouldn't be in we shouldn't be in the Middle East fighting a war. We are the beacon of hope. That's what you should understand. The reason Denmark, Sweden doesn't fight in these type of wars they state to themselves is because they aren't that.
Yeah, killing kids makes us the beacon of hope. Get the fuck out of here.
Killing Muslims. I'm sorry, but this is a Christian country.
Oh, he definitely sent that DM.
Why do you think UK... Hold up. Wow. Let's not just why do you think the UK accepts all these people, but we don't? And why do you think we are stronger?
So I just brought up the confirmed Tomahawk missile strike on the girls' elementary school in southern Iran killed 174 people, with the vast majority of them being girls under the age of 12. And I said that that's clearly an example of how, no, we are no beacon of hope nor light. But in response, you said killing Muslims. So to be clear on your position, you're okay with a strike in the girls' elementary school because the girls that were killed were Muslim, right?
So to clear my position, it's not mostly like, well, you'll be dumb to deny that most Islamic countries aren't killing these like provocative women and all this. There
are you able to answer my question, please?
I am. Saudi Arabia, I have no problem with
I didn't ask you a question about authoritarian regimes killing people. I asked you.
There's a difference, though. There's a difference because you asked all of
regimes killing people because I asked you about Trump.
You asked all of Muslim, but I'm trying to make a difference from the Muslims killing women that don't cover up, that are provocative, compared to the women in like Saudi Arabia. So those are two type of Muslims, correct?
I don't know what you're saying. You're not answering my question.
You don't know what you're saying. Yeah,
I don't. I'm just going to repeat the question that I asked you.
That's the thing.
I'm just going to repeat the question that I asked you.
They are two types of Muslims.
I brought up Trump bombing that school and killing kids, and in response you said, yeah, killing Muslims.
Correct. To which type of Muslims?
Yes or no? Are you okay with us bombing that?
I'm not. Those are children.
But you responded as if you were, because you said, "Oh, just killing Muslims." Like that was justification for it.
It's because you left this hyper focus on like was that an Israeli strike or a U.S. strike?
U.S.
U.S. How can you prove this?
Because the Tomahawk was built in Boulder, Colorado. That was released through the military report that said it was a U.S. strike.
I just doubt this, like, a hearsay.
Yesterday. It's not hearsay. That's what the military released in a report yesterday.
Which military?
The U.S. military.
They reported that they just struck down a school of children?
Yes.
I doubt that.
No, you don't doubt it. That's what happened.
Which website? Tell me. I would like to look it up right now, actually.
You could find this being
because we know how politics work. In no world would a politic actually admit this, even if it's correct.
You could find this.
But let's just look it up.
You could find this reported on by Reuters. You could find this reported on by PBS.
You guys like to nick and pick.
CBS. You could find this reported on by the New York Times, BBC, CNN, ABC. Everyone reported this.
Yeah, I just doubt that.
Bro, I'm giving you a billion
politician
sources. Everyone reported on this. I just gave you 8 sources.
What school was it?
I don't know the name of the school. It doesn't matter.
You don't know the name of the school. So they didn't report on the name of the school.
They probably did. I don't know. Who cares? The name of the school doesn't matter.
Who cares on the name of the school?
That matters. Yeah.
I'm trying to track it down, and you're trying to say that who cares?
Yeah, we don't care about the name of the school. All that we care is that we hit a school, regardless of what that school's name was.
I mean, it's getting real vague at this point, you know?
There's nothing
vague. I don't even know the name of the school.
Bro, dude, read this.
What location was it? Okay, yeah, you're pulling it up. Thank God, because I couldn't pull that up.
Okay, exclusive U.S.
Let's see this explicit website that this guy...
Reuters.
Okay.
Exclusive U.S. investigation points to likely U.S. responsibility in Iran school strike, sources say. Let's see here. U.S. military investigators believe that it is likely that U.S. forces were responsible for an apparent strike on an Iranian girls' school that killed scores of children on Saturday, but have not yet reached a final conclusion or completed their investigation, 2 U.S. officials told Reuters. Reuters was unable to determine more details about the investigation.
Perfect. They haven't completed their investigation.
Wednesday strike. The U.S. military was investigating the incident.
You see how they nitpick things, but they haven't finished their investigation.
Yeah,
so why did they strike it?
Because
why did they strike it?
When they say that they haven't finished the investigation, that's because the investigation will just be meticulously checking off.
And maybe this guy is probably
the next 6 months. But
maybe the school was.
When they say that they haven't completed the investigation, that's because they just haven't checked off all the boxes on all the paperwork that will take 6 months, irrelevant to the evidence that this was a U.S. strike. When the preliminary report says that this is likely what happened, that means that that's what the evidence says. But they just have to go through a lengthy, drawn-out bureaucratic process in order for that preliminary report to be a confident, proven conclusion inside of that bureaucratic process.
Correct, but this school could have been like outside of the target that unfortunately was a consequence of war, you know?
Okay. All right. Yeah, so it seems like you conceded there that was a U.S. strike. I'm going to go ahead and kick you because I actually do think you are drunk. Let's go to move on to the next guest, guys. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA, please and thank you. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA, please and thank you. Let's go to get that next guest up here. Oh, my goodness. Jill, is this actually you? Joe? I don't think it actually is Joe. I wanted to ask the real Joe question. I think that's a fake Joe. We're going to move on to the next guest, guys. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. I want to ask the real Jill a question about something that I heard yesterday about her. But it doesn't look like she's here. Guys, only up inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump. I don't know what's going on today, but like every single guest that we've had so far has just been like confidently insane. Maybe it's like the earlier lives. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but these people are nuts. Definitely much more insidious and much more insane than what we saw yesterday with a later live. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Hi, yes.
How old are you?
25.
Okay, I'm going to thank a couple people, then we'll hop into the debate. First and foremost, Anna. This just came through over on Super Chat. Thank you so much for the $20, Anna. Let's get 200 Anna W's down below in that comment section. Thank you so much. Anna says, that guy was pissing me off. This is the first live I've been able to donate on, and I'm so glad it was on this one because these guests today are driving my brain wacky. However, I love you. I love how calm you, are when you debate with them. Stay strong. I do my best to stay calm. I do my best to stay patient, but I could not agree more. Anna, the people today are nuts. Thank you for the $20. That is very, very kind. Then Key, thank you for the $10, who says, kids are cockroaches defense. Heard this before. Unfortunately, I've heard that before too. It is so crazy the lengths that these Trump supporters will go to justify the presidency. And then Key, I also saw that you sent 10 gifted membership subs over on YouTube. Thank you so much for that, love. Key, you are awesome, awesome, awesome. Over on Venmo, Ali, thank you for the $5, who says the guests are insane dead ass. Nina, thank you for the $5. Vincent, thank you for the $5. Then Rachel, thank you for the $10, who says these callers act so confident while behaving so maturely. Do they realize how stupid they look? Of course they don't. Benjamin, thank you so much for the $10 as well. Show some love to Ben down below. And then Brandon, thank you so much for the $25 donation over on Venmo. Brandon with the 25 says Trump eats ass. Brandon, my boy. Couldn't have said it better myself. You're the absolute GOAT. Let's get a billion Brandon W's down below in that comment section, as well as Lois. That is LOIS. Thank you for the $20 over on Venmo as well. Lois, thank you. Thank you so much for your donation. Thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you're enjoying the stream. Let's show some love to Lois down below. Over on PayPal, Mr. Ben, thank you for the $10 as well. Ben with the $10 on PayPal says, and I quote, Dean, my wife has been watching your debates daily for over a year. We both listen in frequently. I was wondering if you could give her a shout out. Of course I can do that, Ben. Let me load up the rest of the donation. I assume it has her name attached. Her name is Allie. Yes, shout out to Allie and Ben. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate the two of you so much. And then I think we have one more person. Hey, thank you so much for the $5 in PayPal as well. And with that, we're all caught up. If you're watching the stream and you want to help pay my therapy bills, because so clearly I will need it after this live, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in the bio of my TikTok account. They can also be found in the pinned message over on that YT stream, and the handle is also right there on TikTok. Take it away. Tell us how the hell you still support the worst president of your life, Mr. Dumpy Trumpy, Caitlin.
Okay, thanks. A couple things. So, first of all, I want to address what's going on in Iran and then also the strikes that we had on Venezuela. I do think it is strengthening America for a few reasons. So, one, starting with Venezuela, they were trafficking cocaine, teaming up with Colombia to bring it over.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Caitlin. You caught a massive L there. You can't say the names of any drugs. Rugs is probably a better way to say it. You can't say the names of any rugs on TikTok. That's a really unfortunate L that you caught because of TikTok TOS. They just literally prohibit that. They don't allow it. If I don't kick you, the stream will get a violation. That's also not your fault because I don't think that should be their rules. It's super weird that it is. But Caitlin, I would love to talk to you. And the cool thing here is that the violations on TikTok only last 10 minutes. So Caitlin, if you want to hop back inside of the queue, depending on how much time you have, I would love to bring you up in a minimum of 10 minutes from now to have a conversation with you. Right now it's 1:37 p.m. Mountain. I could bring you back up at 1:47 p.m. Mountain. Love to have a chat. Aaliyah, welcome into You Support Trump. Nope, Aaliyah left. For the 13,000 people watching over on TikTok, by the way, guys, let's try to double tap away in that phone screen. Share this live with a handful of friends. Y'all already know it. I want to try to get this live stream boosted out across that For You page so we can hopefully draw the MAGA crazies in here to have a debate. Hello, Eric. Do you support Trump?
Hey, how's it going, Dean? Yeah, I kind of like the other guys before, a couple guys before. I like some of his ideas or actions. I don't like how people pin like a whole person. Like Trump might have some good ideas, same with Biden. But what I do like about Trump, like I do support, is like the immigration. I'm from Minnesota. I mean, I don't think immigration is necessarily bad, but I think for the last 15 years, it's just been out of control. Like there's no oversight. You know, we're bringing people over from other countries, but we have no way to, I guess, integrate them into our country. Like they don't have to lose their culture. But for example, I went to St. Cloud 10 years ago. We got about 80,000 Somalis come in, which is fine. Don't get me wrong, but they came in like in 2 years, like a way too fast of a time, in my opinion, for us to know what to do with them as far as like integrating and whatnot. And there's just a bunch of crimes that would happen every week. And I don't have like proof now, but when I was in school, I would get emails every weekend.
More criminal?
I don't think they're more criminal. I just think that if people come from a different background or race differently, and they come here, and we expect them to just, I guess, I don't know if simile is the right word, but they just, oh man, now I'm so nervous. I don't know how people do this. The other people sound so less nervous to me. But my point is basically, I think we let people in without like oversight and making sure that they're following the rules. If that makes sense. Not all of them are bad, but we allow a lot of it to happen.
So the whole assimilation thing, I don't think the immigrants should assimilate to whatever quote-unquote American culture is, because they're clearly better than it if they're not assimilating, according to your argument. They're 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes, 3 times less likely to commit property crimes, 3.5 times less likely to commit petty crimes, more likely to disproportionately pay more in taxes, less likely to take out social safety nets and benefits from any level of government. They seem like stand-up representations of what citizens should look like. I'm just confused here with what the detriment is that you perceive they purport to this country. The true detriment that we should all perceive that is being purported to this country is having a president that's okay to cast the Constitution out the window, the laws out the window, human rights out the window, deport people with no due process, take birthright citizenship away from citizens born here, defend the murder of citizens on the streets of this country, call for the execution of Democrats in Congress. That is the quote-unquote culture that I don't think should be upheld in the Oval Office, and quite frankly, shouldn't be upheld by anyone human in America or anywhere across the globe.
For sure. I guess I might have worded it not the way I wanted to. What I was trying to say is I think if you bring any group of people that are from third world country, and just because they're from a third world country doesn't mean that they're not smart or anything. It just like didn't have the advantages we had. And so if you bring a bunch of people in, like say 100,000 of any race into a new culture, new country, and you don't, like, I think they just overdid it, if that makes sense. I think they're going too fast of a rate. Maybe I'm wrong in that sense. Like, I believe your stats are right, but I think it can also
know what you're saying here. Like you're saying, oh, like somehow Somali immigrants hurt America. I don't know how though. How do Somali immigrants hurt America?
Not how they're in America. I just think there was like God dang, how do people do this? I'm so nervous.
Also,
you know
it's like the Somali immigrants in Minnesota were here on a protection plan with quote-unquote amnesty, more so asylum, that was authorized by Trump in his first term. So they're legal immigrants, my friend.
For sure.
So you're banking on Trump deporting legal immigrants from America?
No, I don't know the right solution. I just think it was done too fast, and
but like, is this what you're supporting Trump over? Like, just to be clear, like, why do you support Trump?
I think accountability, and he might be going about it wrong, but I like that he's the first president to at least talk about the accountability of immigration. Like when I hear the left talk about it, it's basically just there's no middle ground on each side. So I guess what I want to ask you is like, do you think there's like would you allow all immigration?
What does he say about immigrants that makes you support him?
Nothing personally what he says, more so the actor just trying to like him at least bring it to light.
Actions is he engaging in that makes you support him?
Just like the whole deportation has been going on the last few months. Obviously, there's been some bad instances.
What is one positive outcome of mass deportation on this country?
When you say mass, are you talking about like overdoing it, like more than just the rape? Or sorry, I can't say certain words. The bad people.
I'm asking you a question. What's one positive outcome of Trump's mass deportation that has been beneficial for this country?
Less crime. I believe maybe your stats will like counter mine, but from what I've read, and it's tough to find accurate information, the crime has gone down. Obviously, legal immigrants or people with legal status getting kicked out, that's not good. I'm not saying like we need to have that happen to get rid of the bad people. It's unfortunate, but there are some positive sides to it. And, I think America being first, we want to make sure that if we're allowing people over, they're not going to be harming our own citizens. I'm not saying every immigrant can do that, but we should at least have, programs or something in place just to check in on the immigrants, not like check. I don't know. That sounds bad. I don't want to say like check in, but just to make sure that, we're doing it at a controlled rate. Because in St. Cloud, I would get emails all the time, every weekend, because the school had to report all the crimes on campus. And every single one of them said like Somali descent. Now that's just a small like sample. So I'm not saying that's the whole world, but in St. Cloud, we're kind of a small town and we got 100,000 new immigrants within like 2 or 4 years. So I think it just overloaded the system. The people, the police, and the community didn't know how to handle it. And I don't think it's because the immigrants are bad. I just think we didn't have a good plan for them, if that makes sense. We didn't set them up right.
Okay. Time for my response. Your argument is one positive outcome of mass deportation so far has been less crime. Your argument for that, more so your evidence for that, was the fact that crime rates have gone down. I agree that crime has gone down. I don't agree that was caused by Trump's mass deportation. Rather, I'd argue that it's merely a continuation of a trend that we've seen since 2022. Crime fell 10% from 2022 to 2023. Crime fell 14% from 2023 to 2024. Then crime fell 16% from 2024 to 2025. And then we just saw a continuation of that trend from 2025 to 2026. Okay? I'd actually argue that deportation has an upward pressure on crime rates. I'd expect crime to go up. Why? When we look at the rates, we'd expect them to go up because undocumented immigrants commit crimes at lower rates. You remove them from the country, you're removing a demographic of people who are less likely to commit crimes than everybody else, so on paper, crime rates will go up. End of story. I'd also expect nominal crimes to go up because it is the case that deportation has a destabilizing effect on our economy. Last year, we got the worst jobs report since 2003, ignoring recessions, most manufactured bankruptcies since the Great Recession, 1.3 million layoffs, highest level of unemployment since the pandemic. Last month in February, we lost 90,000 jobs, 6 standard deviations below the expectation of adding 60,000. These facts destabilize the economy. These facts increase poverty. And if you know anything about anything, you also know that poverty increases crime. So that's actually why I would argue that deportation has an upward pressure on crime. And if Donald Trump did not do his deportation to the extent in which he has, we would see a larger drop in crime than we did.
For sure. I actually like that point you brought up. Have you by chance like looked into like previous presidents that have had like similar immigration policies and like compare that theory that crime will go up? Like, do you have, I'm not going to hold you to it, but do you think it'll go up in a year or two? Because you're saying down now, but
Well,
you think that it's actually going to go worse.
The argument is that it's an upward pressure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So like there's been more downward pressures than upward pressures in 2025. Therefore, as a result, crime rates net went down. Okay. But because deportation has still been an upward pressure on crime rates, what I'd argue here is that if we didn't do the deportation, then crime rates would have went down more than they did.
Oh, I see. Like, basically, I mean, it's one of those hypotheticals, like, because we already did deport, so we'll never know. But you're saying if we never did, it just would have gone down a little more. Like, it's already on the trend going down. And Trump
and by the way,
jumped in and took credit for it.
If you care about crime and you want to reduce crime, then never put a criminal in the White House. Donald Trump is an adjudicated rapist, 34-count felon. He's also been held civilly liable for, lying about the valuation of his properties to banks. He's been held civilly liable for defrauding his own university. He intentionally concealed classified documents at his private estate at Mar-a-Lago. He committed one of the most heinous criminal actions that we've seen from any president ever with J6. And then he gave full and complete presidential pardons to all the people that tried to kill cops in the process. He let them run free on the streets. Those people that he pardoned, let out of jail, have now been pedophiles, being predators. Like 2 of them. One of them has been rearrested for child sexual assault. Another one of them, Jake Lang, just got exposed for grooming a minor. Okay. On top of the lawlessness that we've seen right from the White House with defying Congress, breaking federal law, refusing to act in obedience with the Epstein Files Transparency Act, the lawlessness with giving illegal orders to the military, violating the Constitution, so on and so forth. Those are all crimes too, dude. So if you want less crime, don't put a criminal in the White House.
Oh, no, understandable. I definitely don't agree with all those things that Trump does. Like I said, I don't try to attach the things I do like about him to him. It's kind of like it is what it is. We have him as president. Same thing with Biden as president. I try to find ideas that I like.
But is there anything that Trump could do that would lead you to the conclusion that I do not support his administration?
No. I don't think, at least as of now, the way the system's set up, and I think you'd agree, it seems like it's just left versus right. Everyone just wants to fight each other. But I truly believe both sides have great ideas, and I don't watch you all the time, so correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of times I see, you like the rock people, which is fine. It's good content. But at least from what I've seen, I don't ever see you too much try to find like a middle ground, try to say, hey, Trump's a piece of shit, but these 2 laws are good,
Because so many of the things that we talk about here are just fact versus fiction, so it's hard to find a middle ground. Mm-hmm. But can you please answer my question? What is one thing Trump could do that would make you stop supporting his administration?
Oh, I wouldn't say I supported. I mean, I do. I guess it is what it is. Like, I support some of that. Just what? Okay, what do you mean?
But overall, do you support him as president?
No, I guess the reason why I'm stumbling is because I see bad things about the Clintons, the Trumps. I don't even know what's real, to be honest.
Okay, but it's possible for you to not support the Clintons or Trump. So overall, do you support Trump as president? Scratch on my back, Jesus.
I would say. Asked me 3 months ago, I was for sure. I'm still 50-50. I do believe, the counts, when you say the criminal counts, I'm confused by it, and you could probably explain it better.
Do you support his administration?
I want to say yes, but I know you're going to bring up something I probably haven't read. I'm like, damn.
Okay, so the answer to the question is yes. So what is one thing Trump could do to make you stop supporting his administration?
I would say the Epstein files not being released by the end of the year. That would be. I mean, I expected it sooner, and I'm glad that he at least is doing something. I know people are thinking he's part of it. He probably could be. I honestly have no idea. I feel like we're kind of in a big circus show sometimes, and we won't find out till later. Kind of like a lot of the declassified FBI files.
Okay, so if they don't
find out 30 years
files,
later,
that's it.
Yeah, if he doesn't release, I mean, that's a big part why I voted for him.
So then you should stop supporting Trump today, because literally a month ago, Pam Bondi from the DOJ said that they were done releasing Epstein files, and they still have 3 million more to go. You should no longer be a Trump supporter in consideration of your argument.
For sure. That's what I was saying till the end of the year.
Do you no longer support his administration because of that?
Yeah. I don't want to get too conspiracy, and it does not have anything to do with Trump. I want to know your thoughts on this. I'm curious why they stopped releasing some. Obviously, Trump might be part of it.
Dude, but I'm sorry. I'll happily answer that question after you respond to the argument. Think about it this way. Imagine that there's one of your grandma's in hospice, and she is a caretaker. And I'm asking you, what is one thing that caretaker could do that would make you stop supporting them as your grandma's caretaker? And then you say, well, if they were to stop giving if they didn't give my grandma water by the end of the day. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So then your argument is
Right.
you'll stop supporting this caretaker if they don't give your grandma water by the end of the day. And then I bring up the fact that your caretaker literally said that they are not going to give you your grandma water by the end of the day. Because the day's not over, and the fact that the caretaker literally said that they're not going to give water to your grandma by the end of the day, you should stop supporting that caretaker now, right?
Mm.
Right? Yes or no?
Yes. No, I see what you're saying. I think.
Okay.
I
And
know
then
exactly
your
what
standard was that you'd stop supporting the Trump administration if they don't release the files by the end of the year. Pam Bondi literally said that she wasn't going to release the Epstein files by the end of the year. That she said that they were all done. So therefore, you should stop supporting the Trump administration right now. I just want an affirmation of the notion that you no longer support Trump, or a denial of the notion that you no longer support Trump. That's what I want. I just want to be clear.
I see what you're saying. I will deny him. I was a huge supporter, so maybe it's tougher for me to say that. But no, I would say I do not support him. Pam Bondi said that, and I didn't see that, so thank you for sharing that with me.
Okay, so you don't support
also,
the Trump administration. You don't support Trump.
No, I support maybe like 3 things he's done: the immigration.
Okay, but overall, you don't support the administration, right? Because you said overall. Okay, perfect. I appreciate you for coming up.
Right.
I appreciate you for coming up. Now, I understand that you're very conflicted about his policy, like his immigration policy. You shouldn't support his immigration policy. And I'm sure that you will hear many debates on this live stream where we go over his immigration policy, and maybe those debates will help quell kind of some of your concerns as well that relate to it. Now, if you want to ask maybe one last question, get my thoughts on his immigration policy, or make one last claim about why you think it's good, I'll happily respond to it. But then after that, I'm going to go to move on to the next guest because you just said
that's
that you
fair. Thanks for the time, man.
Yeah.
What would you say is okay? So you don't like Trump, which is fine, and you do a great job debating, and I appreciate that. What was obviously there's not a perfect candidate, but who's someone you really would like in the next time around that would? Because I feel like the left, like Harris, I mean, I know you support her over Trump, but do you truly think she was the best choice? I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong in that. But who do you think would be the best choice on the left side? That would be,
the best choice on the left side would be Pete Buttigieg, given that he adopted everything that James Tallarico stands for. Right now, I think that's the best choice. Pete Buttigieg has some very obvious and immediate issues, right? Like he's a little bit too much... too little like establishment Democrat, too pro-Israel. It has a lot of really good things to say, but at the same time, kind of like is really hesitant with the more progressive issues. You know that. I mean, if you're in politics, you know that. But
one quick last
if
thing,
Pete Buttigieg were to adopt everything that James Tallarico stands for, with super progressive, anti-PAC, anti-lobbyist, so on and so forth, that I think he could really win. That's the first one, and then the second one, and I really like the second one, AOC. I love AOC.
Okay, nothing against AOC, but I'm sure you've seen her viral clips where probably sounds like me right now in the live. Like she doesn't debate necessarily all the best, and I know that might just be in a spotlight. She had 3 bad or 4 bad, captures of her. Just I don't know. I've seen a couple of her debates. I'm like this lady doesn't seem like she can debate too well. Just because you can't debate doesn't mean you're smart, but. Why do you think AOC? Do you know what I'm talking about, or maybe?
I mean, everyone's gonna have a clip where they kind of look dumb. Okay, I'm sure I have a clip where I kind of look dumb. Everyone does that talks all day in front of an audience. All right, but I think that she's incredibly intelligent, and 99% of the time she makes perfect sense, and she is cooking when she's making perfect sense. I want somebody who understands the threat of Israel. I want somebody who understands the threat of PACs, dark PACs, and dark money inside of PACs. I want somebody who understands the threat of lobbyists. I want somebody who understands the threat of the Citizen United decision. I want somebody who understands the threat of the ruling elite and the billionaire ruling class. And I want somebody who understands the threat of the impending housing crisis and increasing costs for the average Americans, And I think that someone is AOC. I think that someone is a James Tallarico. I think that someone is a Zoran Mamdani. I think that someone is the more progressive shining stars in the Democratic Party today.
For sure. And then this is going to be one last question that'll be really quick, and I'll help you out because I'm trying to find your Venmo, and I can obviously see it up top. When I type in that exact tag, there's 3 people with your what I mean? Who's who? How do I know which one's you?
Oh my God, yeah. There's so many fake accounts on Venmo and PayPal. It's unreal. Those other accounts, they actually get a very large portion of the donations. You'd be surprised. This live stream is like sustaining the livelihood of like 5 fake deans. It's kind of unreal. In the link tree in my bio, there's just straight up links to my Venmo and my PayPal, so you don't have to like type in a handle or ask any questions.
Or like go on your profile. I don't think you can do that through the live. I think you have to leave that to go.
To the profile, but appreciate you for coming up, man, and I hope this conversation helped you clear your mind. I'm sorry if I came off a little bit too hostile or combative.
Dude, you're totally fine, man. You're a great debater. You have a good one, man. Thanks for the perspective. Have a good one.
Yeah, you take care. Let's go to move on to the next guest, you guys. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. I think that my issue, you guys, is coming off way too combative to people who don't deserve that combativeness, because I just got done with like 4 conversations in a row where it's like literally talking to like evil rocks. so I mean, it's really hard for me to like switch my mental state from talking to evil dumbass rocks to like more reasonable person who just wants to learn on a dime. So what you'll see very often, this happens all the time, is some like more reasonable person who just wants to have a good conversation coming up, and then like for the first 5 to 10 minutes of the conversation, I'm a little bit more combative with him than I should be. Welcome back.
Hi. Okay.
Before we hop into it, I just have a couple people to thank, and then I'm gonna pass you that mic. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. I appreciate you for your patience. You've been very, very patient. Over on Super Chat, Area, thank you so much for the $40. I really appreciate you so much for that love. Area with a $40 says, hey, man, I hope you're doing well, as well as hi to everyone in the chat. Area, thank you so much for the $40, man. I hope that you're having a great day. I'm doing well. I hope that you're doing well as I hope that you're enjoying the stream. That is incredibly kind of you, and I'm very, very grateful for the love. $40 is a shit ton of money, man, and just know that I'm very grateful. Let's go ahead and show some love to Area down below. That is AREA. As well as Juan, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Appreciate you so much for that love, man. And Sunny, thank you so much for the $50 donation on Venmo. Yo, bro, let's get 500 Sunny W's down below. That is so fucking kind of you. Holy moly. Sunny with a 50 says, I've been trying to get my extremely MAGA mother to debate you, but she won't because you're quote-unquote too smart. Oh, man. But I fear that if anyone can change your mind, it will be you. Appreciate all that you do, Dean. Sunny, please tell your mother that I would like to have a really good, really healthy, really, like, productive conversation with her where I won't be, like, vindictive or rude or mean. I would love to talk to your mother, Sunny. I know that you've been watching for, like, a very long time now, so I would love to do that for you. Thank you for the $50, as always. Thank you so much. Please show some love to Sunny down below. As well as Katie and Clara, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. And then Ryan, thank you so much for the $20, who says, I like to share my sources for arguments with MAGA with details you don't seem to have. Do you have an email I could send them to? Yes, Linktree in bio. I'd love that. Ryan, thank you for the $20. As well as Brooke, thank you for the $20, who says, how the hell did they pretzel themselves to believe this crap? I wish I was that flexible. Keep it up. Well, thank you so much, Brooke. I know they pretzel themselves into so much bullshit every day. It's crazy. Thank you so much for the love. We're all caught up on Super Chat and Venmo. Over on PayPal, Miss Serena. Good to see you. I think this is what, the 4th or 5th day in a row. That is SERENA. Show someone to Serena for the $20 donation. Thank you so much for your kindness. Serena says, just got off work, already relieved from all the stress from work, just seeing your live. Well, I'm happy that the live streams help you out, Serena. You have been watching a lot recently. Just know that I really appreciate you for all the love. Show some love to Serena down below. Same thing to Lexi, Lexy. Lexi with a 10 says, I'm a huge fan and I want to run for office one day. I really appreciate you and Parker stick up for women. Keep cooking. Well, thank you so much for the love, Lexi, and I wish you the very best of luck in your future endeavors running for office. That is an awesome, awesome goal. Liliana, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal, who says, love from London, love to London, and love to you, Liliana. Thank you for the $20. That is so very kind of you. Show some love to Liliana down below. Robert, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. I'll check my DMs. You got that. You got that. Lucas, thank you so much for the $10. Who says, I don't usually donate to streamers, but I love what you do. Keep it up. P.S. What mic stand do you use? Some random mic stand off of Amazon. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what it's called, but thank you for the love, Lucas. I hope that you're enjoying today's stream, man. And then one last one here from Charlie. Thank you for the $10, who says, just finished watching your live, just finished work and watching your live stream is a highlight of my day. I've been watching you for a while now, and I really appreciate you and everything that you do. Also give Mama lots of love from the UK. Charlie, I'm happy that the live streams are able to help make your day better. I hear that from so many people, and I love it so much. I'm so happy that what we do here is able to, like, materially benefit people's day-to-day lives. You know, that's all for now. If you want to support me in the stream and what we do here to allow us to continue to do this for 4 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can support me on Venmo and PayPal, which you can find the links to in the link tree in my bio on TikTok. They're also in the pin message over in that YT stream, and the handle is right there, but I definitely recommend going by the link in the bio. Once again, Caitlin, I appreciate you so much for all your patience. You have been very, very patient today. You have the mic and the floor. I'm not going to interrupt you. Take it away. Just make sure not to say the names of any rogues.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so back to kind of what I was saying prior. I want to start with Venezuela. So Venezuela was teaming up with Colombia to bring drugs into the U.S. through ships. That has been proven. And that's obviously an international or national threat to the U.S. So we've seen a lot of unalivings from things like fentanyl.
Dude.
Can you...
Bro. I'm so sorry. Holy cow. Oh my god. That was so, like, unintentional from her, too. Kelsey, another 10 minutes. I want to talk to you. You know what? Just hop back inside of the queue. I'll risk it for you. There's a chance that it won't get a flag. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Hop back inside of that queue. Whatever. I'll risk it for you. You just can't do it again. You've been waiting so long to talk to me, Kelsey. If you rejoin the queue right now, I'll let you back up. You just got to follow the TikTok terms of service moving forward. I feel so bad for her. Poor thing, dude. I don't see her in the queue again. I'll take another moment to look here. Also, if you haven't already, make sure that you're sharing out this live with a handful of friends on TikTok. Drop it a like, spam the likes, drop it a comment as well. Let me know how your day's been so far. Hope you've had a good one. Yeah, she's not back inside of the queue. I think that maybe she rage quit. Valid rage quit, by the way. Hi, do you support Trump?
Okay. I didn't see the request button. It only shows if there's someone up for me to push request, so that's why I couldn't push request. I'm sorry.
So
I will not.
Okay, I added you back. Really, I shouldn't have, because I'm kind of risking my own stream here. But I know that you've been waiting a while. You've been very patient. So the mic and the floor are yours. Just if you say the name of any other rugs, okay, I'm going to have to remove
I thought it was just illegal ones. Technically, it's used in hospitals, but okay.
It is literally any rug.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay, so let's just say they were bringing rugs over to the U.S., which is a national security threat and can cause unalivings of Americans. And then moving on to Iran, they were chanting unaliving to all Americans. And a lot of extremists within that country, obviously Iran was run by a Muslim extremist, does not believe in, people who aren't Muslim. And so they really do hate Americans. And so whenever you have people chanting, unaliving to all Americans, that's obviously, again, a national threat. So I do understand why we had to go over and, either one, put in jail the leader of Venezuela, and then two, I'm still on the fence about what we're doing now. I think our first strike on Iran was justified due to what I said about the rugs. I'm not sure about us, necessarily having to take him out. I'm afraid that this is going to be another boots on the ground, 10 years. I'm definitely against that. But I do think, something to support that I think a lot of people don't think about is a lot of our foreign adversaries like China, Russia, and like Venezuela, Iran, they all work together, right, to give each other, I don't know if I'm trying to think of a word, things of mass destruction. Can you say that?
You could say nukes.
Okay, they trade with each other.
You could say nuclear weapon, but you can't say.
Okay, you can say nuclear weapon. Okay, I don't know. I don't want to get flagged. So they trade with each other nukes of destruction to one another, as well as oil. And so it is putting America first by trying to take out our adversaries so that they don't have that power, right? We don't want to see those countries, being able to have those nuclear powers and being able to have the oil. So taking them out is, in a way, putting America first. And then also, kind of back to what the last guy said, crime rates have decreased.
One second, I gotta respond to everything that I've heard. Also, I gotta respond to everything that I've heard so far. Bro, I don't know how the hell he did it. How did he convince everybody that World War III would be putting America first? Because that's exactly what you just said. You just said taking out our quote-unquote enemies is putting America first. Like China and Russia. If we were to go to war with China and Russia, it would be World War III. Caitlin, World War III is not putting America first. Something else I would like to add on here. It seems like you're saying it's justified to take out leaders that say bad things about our country. Death to America. What if a leader said death to our representatives and called for the execution of Republicans and Democrats in Congress? Would it be justified to take them out?
So any country as a whole that is chanting unalivement to our people, I think we have justified as a national threat and we have justification to take them out, correct?
Yeah, you just classified Donald Trump as a national threat and you said we'd be justified in taking him out. I'd be careful saying that online. You might get a knock at the door from Secret Service, but I would assume I've done my job here and I've changed your mind. And just for a little bit of background information.
Wait, why would we be justified to take him out?
Oh, yeah, because 10 weeks ago, he called for the execution of Democrats in Congress, taking out our people. You know, the whole thing that you just said would be a national threat that we'd be justified in eliminating. So,
when did he say to unalive Democrats?
Oh, yes.
Can you pull up the source?
Oh, yes. This was 10 weeks ago on Truth Social. Let's just go ahead and take a look. This video shows all the tweets.
The President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, is now demanding Veterans the Eckington Examiner titled, Democratic Veterans in Congress urge service members to refuse unspecified unlawful orders by saying that this is really bad and dangerous to our country and that their words cannot be allowed to stand. He then followed that up with a second post that reads, this is seditious behavior, punishable by death. And then he reposted a comment that reads, quote unquote, hang them, George Washington would. So I'm going to go ahead and guess you're no longer a Trump supporter, given the fact that your logic would lead to the conclusion of taking him out, which, by the way, I'm not endorsing. Don't worry about it. That's not me. I'm not endorsing that. Please, for the love of God, I need to make that one explicitly clear. I'm not endorsing that. Chios, go ahead.
Okay, so that is obviously extreme. And I will say one thing that I dislike about Trump is, you know, kind of his behavior and his personality. I think a lot of times he tweets things that are, you know, kind of outrageous. He's definitely not presidential. He's not someone who's like politically facing. Like when you look at someone like Reagan, he was, you know, a lot better at presenting to the people. He's more political. Trump is definitely not that person, but I actually think that's another reason to like him, right? He's not controlled by the deep state. He's not one of these people like Mitch McConnell, who's just a rhino. He's not a lot of Republicans and Democrats, they all work together. They're on the same team. Example, Bush's and Clinton's on the same team. Someone like, what's his name? The liberal Bernie Sanders was not part of the deep state. And that's why the liberals gave it to Biden. No one voted for Biden. No one wanted him. Okay. So we're being played by the government. It's really one uniparty versus the people. So when I see someone who's not part of that uniparty, I'm more prone to actually like them and to support them because I know they're not controlled. The country, both sides, Democrats and Republicans, have been trying to take out Trump forever. They tried to unalive him. They tried to get him through the law. They tried all their ways to make sure he couldn't get in seat, and he's still gotten seat. And I honestly appreciate that. I appreciate someone who is not going to be swayed by this uniparty. So yes, a lot of the, you know, his conduct and the way he speaks, I don't agree with for sure. But I do appreciate that. I genuinely believe that he is trying to do what's best for this country. And I think that's why he has tons of opposition on both sides.
Oh, I see what it is. You're like, you're gunning for Caroline Leavitt's position. You know that she's pregnant. She'll probably step down because of it. And you want to be the new press secretary, right? Like you're like mini Caroline Leavitt in training.
I mean, I work in Texas,
you just somehow like tried
to
you just like try to somehow convince me and everybody else like watching the live stream right now that it's actually a good thing Donald Trump wants to execute his political opponents in Congress. I mean, you're doing great. I got to hand it to you. But anyways, get on to the counter argument against what you just said. No, it is absolutely not a good thing for the president to be calling for the execution of Democrats in Congress. I think that this is something that we, like I just said, hear from Caroline Leavitt every day, where Donald Trump will call women piggies, ask the military to draft a plan of an invasion of Greenland, say that he wants Democrats in Congress to be publicly hung and executed, illegally hides his name in the Epstein files over 950,000 times, says that he wants a woman that he raped to be thrown in jail, says that it was funny when he sexually exploited the women and girls. And then in response, it's like, that's actually a good thing that he's like a fucking psychotic maniac, because, well, other presidents weren't like explicit psychotic maniacs to the same extent. And this just really shows how he's not controlled opposition. He's not a part of the uni party. He doesn't have, the pockets of the deep state and his own. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you made your principle clear. Your principle is that if any other leader of any other country, of any other government, were to call for the death, the execution of our representatives, then it is so bad they lose their right to life. But as soon as our president does it, the most powerful man alive, it's so good, we need to continue supporting him in the
difference
Oval.
is,
Think about how hypocritical that is.
All right. I understand your point and I appreciate it. The difference is this is an internal person saying things because he's angry and he's just tweeting with rage. He's not thinking before he speaks. The difference is these international countries, which by the way, we've already seen sleeper cells in the US. I live in Austin, Texas. There was I don't know if you can say shoot. Can you say shoot? Shooting? Can you say that word? I don't know. Seems strict over here. Can I say shooting? There was a shooting in Austin, Texas, where 3 people were unalived and 14 injured. And the man was wearing an Allah shirt. He had a Quran in his car. What's going to happen is our border was open for so long. We saw 25 million people pour across with this open border. Biden flying people in on planes.
Yeah, you do,
Biden flying people in
stop
on
it.
planes
No, I'm not going to do the
into
Caroline
liberal
Levitt
states.
thing with you. I'm not going to do the Caroline Levitt thing with you,
and
where you start talking
so
about how
that's what
Biden led an
happens.
invasion of immigrants into the
Yes,
country
he
to
did.
completely
He
deflect
did,
away
to
from a
swing
response to me
states
bringing up the fact that
particularly.
Donald Trump called for the execution of Democrats in Congress. By the way, what is your source that 25 million undocumented immigrants came into America under Biden?
Look it up. That's
yeah. Well, I mean,
well,
actually, that would be
25
your
million people.
burden.
I don't know if
that would
it's
be
just
your burden to give me
particularly.
the.
I don't know
Well,
if
one
it's
second.
just
That'd be your burden to give me
particularly
the
under
source.
Biden,
I don't
but
need to look it up. You need
millions
to give me
were
the source,
pouring
please.
across. Go ahead. What?
I actually just got to disconnect you. She just got a flag for misinformation. Ah, fuck, Kaylin. That only lasts 10 minutes, so depending on how patient you want to be, feel free to come back in 10 minutes. But, we've already been through that 2 times. If you want to come back in 10 minutes, I could have you back up. You just got a flag for misinformation. That does expire in 10. But if you are going to come back up, I just want to clarify that what we're not going to do is, once again, that whole Caroline Levitt thing, where I'm able to call Donald Trump out on doing something that's clearly bad, and then you try to defend it, but then when I respond and I describe to you how you actually can't defend it, then you just say, well, Biden let a bunch of undocumented immigrants in, right? Leave that to the press secretary. All right, it's a very annoying debate tactic. Feel free, but I'll set you down when you try to. But like I said, you certainly don't have to join back in 10 minutes, but you can if you want. I do understand that you've just already been waiting all day, so I understand if you don't want to. Hi, welcome in. Shop with Pat. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I guess I support the what's going on in Iran.
Yeah, everyone wants to talk about killing children and bloody civil war. No, for sure. I mean, you support it so very much. Would you consider yourself
I don't support what happened with the school. There's a lot of more information that needs to come out on that, but I don't think they purposely did that.
Yeah. Do you support Trump, though?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Listen. For everyone in the chat saying that Jill's here, she's not in the queue. I would love for Jill to be in the queue, not because I want to debate her again, but just because I have one very simple question for her. Now, to get back to the debate, we've been talking about Iran for the last 2 hours and 35 minutes. I want to talk about something else real quick. How do you think Donald Trump has been for the economy?
Be honest, I just wanted to speak on Iran because that's the only thing I've been keeping up with.
All right, man. Feel free to come back up in 30 minutes. I'm sorry for doing that, but we've just been talking about it for 2 hours and 35 minutes. I kind of want to talk about something else momentarily. But if you want to talk about Iran, I could see having a conversation about that in another 30 minutes. I hope that you understand. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
I do.
Oh, man, that's really embarrassing. You really shouldn't. He's a terrible president. But before we hop into the debate, do you mind if I take a moment to thank my donors?
Absolutely.
Cool. Thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat, Mr. Logan. Thank you. Logan with the $20 over on Super Chat says, can you shout out my friend Crystal? She turned me onto your streams. I'm so glad that she did because you're awesome. Well, thank you so much, Logan. Let's get to it, Logan W's down below. And shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Logan and Crystal. Thank you so much. As well as Luna, thank you so much for the 11 euros over on YouTube Super Chat. Who says, by the way, Trump's actions benefit both China and Russia. So much, and 90% of Europeans think that he's Putin's puppet. Absolutely. Does she know that there are Iranian Jews and Muslims in Turkey, Sharia, where Sharia law is forbidden? Yep. Thank you so much for the 12 euros. As well as Luna, thank you for another 12 euros, who says, learned today that Epstein also fucked up German politics. He and Trump's ex-chief strategist Steve Bannon collaborated to spread the MAGA ideology by becoming advisor to the ultra-right-wing parties like the AfD. I didn't even know that, Luna. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I appreciate you for the absolute truth nuke. Over on Venmo, Kenneth, thank you for the $5. Amanda, thank you so much for the $15, who says, I'm curious, would this woman date somebody who's been found guilty of rape, admitted to perpetrating girls in the Epstein files, etc.? I would hope that the answer to that question is no, but I don't understand why they then follow that up by saying I want to date them, but I'd make them president. That's a little insane, right? Yasmin, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo. Says, I really enjoy your takes. I'm Pashtun American, and Islamophobia isn't new to me, but it's still really wild hearing people confidently argue things they haven't studied. Respect to the patience and composure while you keep steady. Fun watching pressure chip away at egos till arguments unravel. I appreciate you so much for the $15. I'm sorry that you have to experience the Islamophobia, and I'm sure that it's only on the rise in America today because of what's going on. I'd also like to thank Michelle. Thank you so much for the $50 donation over on Venmo. Holy fuck, Michelle. Thank you so much. That is so much money. I'm so very grateful for you. Thank you for the kindness. Thank you for the generosity. I don't deserve a single penny of that. That is so much money, Michelle. Michelle the 50 says, thank you for sharing your knowledge every day. I try my best to keep you guys informed. Thank you so much for the $50 donation. You were awesome, awesome, awesome. I want to see 500 Michelle W's down below. That is so very kind of you. As well as Brittany and Michael. Brittany and Michael, you guys both sent $20 over on Venmo. Thank you both so very, very much. Brittany says, keep it up, man. Real heroes don't always wear capes. Keep calm and keep changing minds. I try my best, Brittany. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then Michael with the 20 says, thank you for speaking up. I will never shut up, man. And thank you for enjoying the stream and sending the $20 donation. It means the world. As well as Phillips. This is the last one on Venmo for now. Thank you for the $20 donation who says, God bless you. Well, God bless you as well, man. I appreciate you for the $20. Thank you so much, dude. In fact, thank you to everybody. You guys have been so very kind today. And then to quickly catch up over on PayPal, Daphne, thank you so much for the $14, who says, I've been watching you for a long time. Love what you do. It honestly gives me a glimmer of hope in the crazy times we live in. Plus, your voice is very soothing after a long day of craziness. Much love from Canada. Well, much love to you, Daphne, and much love to Canada as well. I'm happy that the streams help give you a glimmer of hope. I hear that from a lot of people. I guess I don't understand why, because we hear the craziest of the crazy from the Trump supporters, but I'm happy that that's the effect nonetheless. Thank you for the $14. And then one last person to thank on PayPal for now, Mr. Harold. Thank you so much for the $20. Who says, ever since I told you I like you getting on the live early to see my like when you're on live early, you moved up to start a couple hours, so we're back to square one. Is that correlation or causality? Well, it's correlation, man. But I do enjoy going live earlier because it gives me more daylight to have fun. And with that, we are all caught up. If you guys do want to support me, you could find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in the bio on my TikTok account. Best way to support me is right over there. You could also find them in the pin message on that YT stream, and the handle is right there on the top of the phone screen as well. Thank you guys so much for all the love. Now, Mr. Burnt Popcorn. One of those donations said, and I quote, do you think that this lady would date an adjudicated rapist who's openly admitted to perving on little girls? And clearly she's gone, but I kind of want to ask that question to you. If you had a daughter, would you be okay with your daughters dating a man who's been held civilly liable for raping a woman, has openly boasted about sexually exploiting the naked bodies of women and girls by barging into their dressing rooms, sexualized a 10-year-old girl, hit on his own daughter? Would you ever be okay with your daughter dating a man like that?
If it's somebody like we see here with Trump that has been targeted by his political opponents and the lawfare being implemented on him, yes, I would be okay with that. Absolutely, 100%. Or would you not be okay with that?
Wow. Okay, so first and foremost,
did that fly over your head, or?
No, don't worry. I digested every word.
Okay.
So first and foremost, I brought up a handful of things. I brought up the grape case. I brought up him admitting to sexual exploitation. One moment. I brought up the grape case. I brought up him admitting to sexual exploitation. I brought up him hitting on a 10-year-old girl and hitting on his own daughter. And in response, you said, with somebody like Trump who's been targeted by lawfare, I would be okay with it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because
the only thing I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Popcorn. Shut your mouth. Seenie Weenie, thank you for the galaxy. So first and foremost,
you be respectful, son.
Hey, Popcorn. Shut your mouth, son. Thank you. So first and foremost, the lawfare response could only possibly apply to the first one of the four things I brought up. Clearly the case wasn't lawfare, but even if it was, you're still telling me that you'd be okay with your daughter dating a man who has openly boasted about sexually exploiting the naked bodies of little girls by barging into their dressing rooms, has hit on a 10-year-old girl, and has sexualized his own daughter. Why would you be okay with your daughter dating a man who's openly boasted about sexually exploiting the naked bodies of little girls by barging into their dressing rooms, has sexualized a 10-year-old girl, and hit on his own daughter? Tell us.
So I can pick you absolutely apart right now if you take it step by step. So let's go with your lie number one, that Trump bragged about barging into the locker room full of underage women. Can you prove that?
Yes.
And I would like actual evidence.
Yeah, I can prove that he did this to women.
I'll tell you what, if you can prove that, I'll donate you $1,000 right now.
Oh, this is easy as hell, man. I'm about to be 1K richer. Dear God.
Yeah, so let's see it. And then if not, I want you to admit that you suck at debating.
Sure. Yeah, that's a fair bet. If I could prove it, you owe me $1,000. If I can't prove it, I gotta admit I suck at debating. Sound good?
Yep.
Dude, so free, man. I'm about to be $1,000 richer. Here, one
and
more.
The fact that
So
you're
you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like
everything
a
is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
So the first data point to prove this is the clip that you just listened to of Donald Trump sitting down with Howard Stern on his radio show in 2005, saying that he will just barge into the dressing rooms at these beauty pageants that he owns, and then he'll look at the naked bodies of the people inside. He said they had no clothes on. The second data point of evidence to prove that he did this to girls, because you were specific with your question, is that we've had 7 people from Miss Teen USA, under the age of 18, by the way, speak out and said that this happened to them. The first 3 people would include Mariah Delgado and 3 teens who didn't want their name to be public, who told BuzzFeed that he would barge into their dressing rooms, look at them naked, and say, "Don't worry, ladies, I've seen it all before," alongside Miss Arizona from 1997, Miss Teen USA Arizona from 1997, who said the same thing happened to her, alongside a couple other testimonies. And this testimony is very reliable because it corroborates what he admitted to, alongside it corroborates what the women at the women pageants that he owned said as well. We also had women from Miss USA, like Miss Massachusetts, say that Donald Trump would barge into their dressing rooms as well. So I would expect your response here to be, well, Dean, in the clip, he doesn't say the name of the pageant. In response, I would say that means I think he did it at all of the pageants. And the supporting evidence for the claim that he did it at all of the pageants would be the testimony from the women at Miss USA and the teens at Miss Teen USA. And even if you reject the testimony of the teens, I'd say you're doing so baselessly, not only because they corroborate what he admitted to, but also in denying that he did it to the teens, you're also explicitly stating that he did do it to the women because that's the only people left that he could have done it to. So therefore, if he did do it to the women, and the girls are saying he did it to them too, and he's saying he did it generally at all the pageants, I think at that point it has been, and certainly proven, that he did it to the women and the girls. So at this point in time, you owe me 1K. Pay up.
All right, so you did not prove what you claimed. You said that he bragged about going into the locker rooms of underage girls. Again, there is a clear distinction between what he was saying, grown adults back there he can get away with. And, oh, by the way, announce when he goes back there, hey, Trump's coming. Okay, now I'm good or whatever. But you made a claim that you cannot back up. And plus those 3 or 4 Miss Teen USAs or whatever, are you familiar with the one that said, no, none of that happened? It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't the way they described it.
Yes, her name is Virginia.
No. Are you talking about the one that unalived?
No, that's the Epstein Virginia. There's another Virginia
okay, got it.
that competed at Miss Teen USA that said it never happened to her.
Right. And so you're taking 2 completely distinct things at 2 completely distinct times of this guy's life, and you're tying them together to say the lie that he barges into the locker rooms of underage girls. Now, you know what you're doing. You know that typically you don't have people like me that call you out and pick apart your words and absolutely dog walk you, just like I did Parker 2 days ago. So I would like for you to go ahead and admit that you suck at debating and that you're a liar.
Well, Burnt Popcorn, here's why you're wrong. So your argument against the notion that he did this to the teens is by stating that in the clip he says he did it to women, not teens. So that's actually not true. At no point in the clip did he ever specify that he only did this at Miss USA.
So why did you make that assertion?
I let you finish. Are you going to let me finish?
Yeah, go ahead. I just want to know why you lied.
Good boy. To get back to what I was saying, Burnt Popcorn, you said in refutation of my claim that he did this to teens, that in the clip he says he did it to the women. In the clip, he never specified what pageant he did this at. He never said Miss USA. And the reason why we are justified in believing that he did this to the women at Miss USA and the teens at Miss Teen USA is because point number one, in the clip he never specified what pageant, giving us more reason to believe that he generally did it at multiple pageants. And point number two, the women and girls from the different pageants all gave the same consistent testimony that it happened to all of them. And then your sub-refutation against the testimony of the teens at Miss Teen USA was to bring up the one person who also competed at Miss Teen USA 1997, Virginia, who said it never happened to her, that actually would be expected given that it is true he actually did it to the other teens. Because he owned 3 pageants for like 25 years. There's no way that he could have sexually exploited every woman and every teen at every pageant every year. We would expect him to do this to some women and girls while not doing it to other women and girls. So surely, operating under the assertion that it is true he did this, some women and girls would have the story that this happened to them, and other women and girls would have the story that this didn't happen to them. So that actually doesn't contradict what I'm attempting to prove here. It only further corroborates it. Pay up. 1K.
Right. Yep. So again, I'm waiting for you to admit that you lied and that you suck at debating. Because if I take your logic, then let's go back to 2004. Do you remember the 60-minute hit piece that they did on George Bush in 2004 when he was running against John Kerry? Do you remember that? Or well, no, you were probably.
I was born in 2004, so I probably wasn't born yet.
Okay, got it. So what we learned from that was that these journalists or so-called journalists and media outlets will go out there and try to convince people, as we've seen in 2004 and other cases, where they go out and try to find dirt and even at times create dirt and create stories and push people to say certain things. We know that our journalists here in America do that. Not all of them, but a good portion of them. We know that mainstream media like Fox News, CNN, MSNBC.
Heather, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, saying 1/100th of what he definitely won't pay. So real, Heather, thank you for the 10. Go ahead.
Yep. So, by the way, Heather, you can pay me too. So,
no,
so
she's
yeah,
going to give me money, not you. Stay mad.
Right. If I applied your logic, then I would say that it is absolutely viable that the journalists or so-called journalists that went out there and made contact with these girls, pressured them into saying certain things. And so that's why I say Donald Trump is absolutely innocent. So
okay, if the
that's
journalists
using your
them
logic.
Okay,
it's
first and
silly,
foremost,
it's dumb.
First and foremost, what is your evidence that the journalists
your
pressured
logic.
them into saying the particular things? And wouldn't the fact that one of the girls said it didn't happen to her indicate that it is likely false that they pressured them into saying particular things? Because if it was true that they pressured them into saying particular things and then only took their testimony given that they said those particular things, then we wouldn't know one of the girls said it never happened?
Right, but your initial claim was Donald Trump is on tape bragging. Well, I can't remember if you said on tape, but Donald Trump bragged about going into locker rooms with underage girls, and I said you are a liar, and you said no.
And then I proved that. Then I proved that I'm not
video, and nowhere in the video did he say anything about underage girls or applied or insinuated underage girls.
That's where the testimony from the teens comes. That's relevant. The testimony from the teens is what comes relevant. So listen,
but you're adding stuff to the story.
I'm actually not adding anything to the story. So if I were on clip,
you just added to the story. Dean.
I could explain how it's not true. You're just dumb, so I have to explain it like you're 5, and I can do that for you. I really can, Popcorn.
No, I don't think you want to compare resumes, son. You don't want to do that.
No, I think I actually would like to do that.
I'm beating you at your own game.
His resume is gonna be better than yours.
I am beating you at your own game.
Well, I mean, just because you say something certainly doesn't make it true, Popcorn.
I mean, it is, and the same applies to you. Just because you add words to what Trump did or somebody said Trump did does not mean it's true. You're a liar.
That's not what I'm doing, and I'm just waiting to have the mic.
Now, do you want to pick another topic? Do you want to go into Iran? I can dog walk you when it comes to Iran as well.
Okay, so you actually want to run away from this topic because you know you're losing?
What? No, dude, I just dog walked you, and you keep doubling down. You got proven wrong. Deal with it.
The thing is if I have the microphone, I could describe to you how I was not dog walked, but clearly you don't want me to have the mic because you're scared of me proving you wrong. All right.
I mean, you've had what? So you've had 10 minutes to prove me wrong and doing a piss poor job. That's why.
I mean,
but maybe the two of you combined
right now, and you got dog walked by me. You didn't have enough getting dog walked by me alone.
Yeah, I know Parker. He's like a masochist, has a kink for embarrassment. Dude, hey, Popcorn, do you mind if I grab the mic to you to describe to you why your counter argument was insufficient in demonstrating that I lied?
Yeah, go ahead, son.
All right, appreciate that, son. Anyways, first and foremost, you said, Dean, I bet you wouldn't want to compare resumes. I absolutely would. I bet my resume at 21 is significantly better than the resume over your 75 years of life, Mr. Popcorn. Pretty
I'm 46
right?
from the great state of Georgia.
Oh,
Previous
geez.
Democrat, turned Republican in the mid 2000s, voted for Trump 5 times.
I'm actually genuinely surprised.
Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised too. Honestly, I guess you sound a bit older. But anyways, here's a counter argument.
I mean, I've been through hell.
Ultimately, your
That's
argument
what 4
there.
tours in Iraq does to you.
All right. So ultimately, your argument there is that I lied because I said he was bragging about this in the clip. But then when we listen to the clip, it says nothing about him doing this to underage girls, right?
So why would you make that claim?
Right. So that is your argument. I just want to make sure that I'm correctly representing your argument.
No, I just wanted to correct your statement that was false in saying that he bragged about going into the dressing rooms of underage girls.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that your
so.
quote unquote correction, your like counter argument against the notion that he did that was saying that he never specified in the clip that he did it to minors, right?
Waiting.
I'm waiting for you to tell me if that was or wasn't.
So you said he is on tape bragging about something, and I want you to prove it. You try to prove it. You can't prove it. It doesn't exist. So.
Dude, answer my question, please. I'm trying to see if I'm correctly representing your argument. Am I correctly representing your argument by saying that you are saying that I'm wrong because when we listened to that clip, he never said minors?
Correct. Like you said, he said. So yes.
Perfect. Here's a question. If I was to tell you right now that I went to the store and I bought a steak, and then you were to ask 5 people that worked at my local city market if I went to that store and bought a steak and they said yes, and then you asked 5 people at the Walmart if I went to that store and bought a steak and they said no, and City Market and Walmart are the only 2 places I could get a steak in my town, would you be correct in saying that on live I was telling you I was bragging about buying a steak from City Market, even though I never explicitly stated that the name of the store was City Market in the clip, but that was rather later confirmed through talking to the employees at City Market?
Dude, that's a lot of what ifs. That's a huge, massive stretch, but I would say it depends. Maybe they went to the store to get Pringles and then just happened to get steak. I don't know.
He can't track. Did anyone else like?
You can't ask.
I just want to clarify. One moment, Popcorn. I'm going to put you on mute here. For everyone else watching, was that confusing? If it was confusing, I could try to find a less confusing way to word it. But what I just said, did it make sense? Yes or no? I just want to know.
No sense at all, Dean.
Yes, it was too much in there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Some people are saying yes. Some people are saying no. Okay. Because a lot of people are saying no, then I could try to find like a better way to word it. That's fine. Okay. That's fine. Let me try to find a better way to word it. So if I was caught on tape bragging about going to a store and buying a steak, okay, and then some journalists went to all the stores in my area, and the only store that said they saw me go into their store and buy a steak was City Market, would it be true if one were to say that in that clip I was bragging about buying a steak from City Market, even though in that clip I didn't say City Market, I only said store?
I was on mute. I guess I would have to read the context. I don't know. I mean, that's still a shit ton of what ifs. I don't get the point. Why do you guys do this? It's like you guys develop these crazy stories like going through time and all this stuff. And what if I could go back in time and unalive Adolf?
One second. I'll show you the point, Popcorn. It's actually really relevant.
It's crazy
because
talk, man.
I understand that in the clip of Donald Trump boasting about going into the dressing rooms and like looking at the naked people, he never says that they were minors. He never says that they were adults. He never says it was Miss Teen USA. He never says it was Miss USA. Therefore, I also kind of understand to a certain level your counter argument here. Dean, you're lying when you're saying he was bragging about doing it to minors in the clip because he never said that in the clip. But where the nuance comes in is, well, he did it to the minors. And in the clip, he was talking about doing it to people, never specified if they're minors or not. But because we know he did it to the minors, therefore, that was the experience that he was relaying and he was bragging about in the clip, regardless if he said minors or not.
I completely disagree. I think, again, this goes back to your statement. You said that he is bragging about going into dressing rooms with underage girls.
Because that was the experience that he was referring to when he was bragging.
Underage girls part, I would have agreed with you. Yes, he is.
The reason why that statement is true is because that was the experience that he was relaying when he was bragging about it to Howard Stern.
So, again, that wasn't your claim.
Yes, that was. My claim was in the clip he was bragging about barging into the dressing rooms of naked women and girls.
No, that wasn't your claim. You said of
Yes, that
underage
was.
girl.
Yes,
No,
that was just what I
Play it
said.
back.
Yes,
Play it
yes,
back.
yes.
Play it
Wait.
back.
We just said the same
$1,000.
thing. Wait, we just said the same.
$1,000, you and Parker. You can prove me wrong
Popcorn.
right now.
Popcorn. What you just said is what I said. We just said the
You're
same
getting
thing.
dog walk, bro.
I'm not getting dog walk. We
dog
just
walk.
agreed on what I said.
No, we did not
Are
agree.
we
on
gonna
what you
get
said.
paid?
You're a liar.
Are we getting paid now? I'm getting
You're a
$1,000
liar,
too. Let's
Dean.
go.
I
You're a liar,
know.
dude. Words have meaning. Words have meaning.
Popcorn.
You got
I'm
cooked.
literally.
Actually, you cooked
Can't even
yourself.
prove when we lied. You just owe us money.
I'm literally telling you that what you just said about what I said earlier is true. I did say
take the
that
L,
Donald
bro.
Trump.
Take
One
the
moment.
L.
I did say that Donald Trump was bragging about barging into the dressing rooms of minors. I just also said that he's bragging about barging into the dressing rooms of women. One way or another, it doesn't matter because I did say that he was bragging about barging into the dressing rooms of minors. And I've proven that. Because he went on Howard Stern's radio
you've not
show.
proven that.
Well, one second,
And
Popcorn.
you've not proven that.
He went on Howard Stern's radio show. He was bragging about barging into the dressing room of someone. We asked the minors if he did it to them. He said yes. Therefore, he was bragging about barging into the dressing rooms of the minors. Just to be clear, for everybody watching, is my position on this clear? All right?
No.
Is my position... In the clip, he was bragging about barging into the dressing room of someone. We asked a shit ton of minors if he did it to them. They all say yes. Okay. Therefore, in the clip, he was bragging about barging into the dressing rooms of minors. So free! You owe me a band. Venmo, PayPal, Linktree in bio.
Right, but you would agree that. Well, no, I'm not going to play your game. I'm not going to go
Send
down.
to me too. Are you gonna send it to me? Venmo, PayPal, Linktree in the bio.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for Dean to live up to his side of the deal. Dean, you made a claim,
and I proved
You
it
can
right.
double
Get
down,
fucked,
triple
Popcorn.
down, all
You
you
got
want,
dunked on. You got generationally dunked on.
bro.
Your
You got
bloodline is cursed
absolutely
because of how
demolished.
because
You
of how
just-
badly you got dunked on.
Oh.
Says the guy without a counter argument. Says the guy without a counter argument. Says the guy
bro.
without a
You
counter argument.
lied.
Says the guy without a counter argument. Says the guy without a counter argument. You got dunked on.
Wow. You got
Silence,
cooked,
gagged, get cooked. Says the guy without a counter argument. I'm gonna say that every single time you say I got cooked, I'm gonna say says the guy without a counter
You
argument.
got cooked.
Says
Hey,
the guy without a
Popcorn,
counter
where-
argument.
Where's the grand?
You got
Where's the
dog
grand?
Says-
I'm
says the
waiting.
guy
Venmo,
without a
PayPal,
counter
Linktree
argument.
in the bio. Where's the grand?
Yeah, where's the grand, buddy?
Dude, you guys.
Says
lost.
the guy without a counter
You
argument.
lied, and I
Says the
proved
guy
that
without a
you
counter
lied.
argument.
And
Says the
now
guy
you're
without a counter
backtracking.
argument. Says the guy that didn't prove it. Says the guy without a
Did you
counter
backtrack?
argument.
Yes or no? Did you
No,
backtrack?
I did not. Says the guy without a counter argument.
You didn't backtrack at all.
Says the guy. Yeah,
How
I
you
didn't
gonna
backtrack
turn
at all.
it?
Says the guy with no counter
And
argument.
yo, Popcorn, where's the money, bro?
Yeah, where's your money, bro?
You guys lost.
Nope.
And
Says the guy without a
Popcorn,
counter
you,
argument.
like,
Says
Venmo,
the guy without a counter
PayPal,
argument.
Linktree in the bio. Where's the money,
Bro,
bro?
he's
said
crashing
I'll
so hard.
give you
Popcorn, stop, bro.
$1,000
Stop
if you
crashing. You got
don't
cooked.
the
But
video.
Popcorn, you stop crashing. You got cooked. The argument is in the clip he was bragging about barging into the dressing
Y'all
rooms
got
of
cooked,
someone.
both of y'all.
Yes, all the teens. If he did this to them, they say yes. Therefore, he was bragging about barging into the dressing rooms of teens. That's the argument. What's your refutation? I don't know what to tell you. What's the
Dean, take the
refutation
L.
to the argument?
Dean, be a man, grow up, take the L.
Well, what L?
Lost.
You haven't even given a counter argument.
Dude, you lied.
You can't prove that. You can't prove that because you don't have a counter argument.
Okay, then play back your video.
What did I watch?
When you
what do you-
first brought me up, play back the lie that you said on your live.
Hey, bro, pay up, bro.
Wait,
Pay up.
wait,
Where's
wait.
the money?
What was the
Dean,
lie?
you lied, and I
what was
caught
the
you in
lie?
a lie,
What was the
Dean.
lie? What was the lie?
You said Donald Trump is caught on tape saying that or bragging about entering the locker room of underage girls. He never did
I did say
that.
that. I did say that. I did say
I know-
that. Here's the argument. He went on Howard Stern's radio show. He bragged about barging into the dressing room of someone.
But you
Journalists
didn't
asked
prove
all
that,
of the
Dean.
teens if he did this to them. They all say yes. Therefore, in the clip, he was bragging about barging into the dressing room of minors. There's the argument. What's the counter argument?
The counter argument is your word,
think
word
of
for
that.
word, was that he's bragging and he's not bragging. He was not bragging about entering the room.
Oh,
with
yeah. Once
underage
again, I'll go to
teens.
give it to you one more time.
Now,
The argument
take
that
the
he
L.
was bragging about barging into the dressing rooms of teens is that he sat down with Howard Stern, bragged about barging into the dressing rooms of someone. Journalists asked all of the teens if he did it to them. They all say yes. Therefore, the conclusion is, okay, he bragged about barging into the dressing rooms of teens. There's the argument. What's the counter argument? Do you have one? I don't think you have one because I just think that you're stuck on repeat. Gene, your first claim was saying that he bragged about barging into the dressing room of teens. He didn't say that. And you're just completely ignoring the nuance here of the argument I'm purporting, which is he bragged about barging into the dressing rooms of someone. We asked the teams if he went into their dressing rooms. They said yes. Therefore, in the clip, he was bragging about barging into the dressing rooms of the teens. There is the argument. What is the counter argument, buddy? You owe me $1,000. I understand what it's like to lose the
Has
debate. Just
there
kidding. I
been
don't because
any
it's never happened to
women
me.
at all has there been any women at all that has said in the past at any pageant that Donald Trump has entered the locker room? Not teens, but adults.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Thank you.
What does that
just
refute?
Absolutely demolishes your
How so?
point. How so? Because they're adults, and that's who he was referring to. He was referring to those adults. So those adults that you just agreed to.
Wait. If he only wanted to brag about doing this to a subsection of the overall total group of people that he did this to, then he would have made it explicitly clear. That's the thing. So imagine. So here's the thing. Imagine that I'm the president of America and I've started a new war with both China and Russia. Okay. And then on tape, I'm like, I'm so proud of the wars I've started. Okay. Clearly, I'd be bragging about starting the war with both China and Russia. In order for me to only be bragging about the war I started with only China, okay, then I'd have to say, I'm so happy with the war I started with China. Okay, that would be the only circumstance in which I would be bragging about only one of the two wars that I've started. Okay, so therefore in this clip when Donald Trump is like, I would walk into their dressing rooms and look at them, okay, and he's done this to both women and girls, he was bragging about doing it to both women and girls. Because we know that he's done it to both women and girls. For him to only brag about doing it to the women and not brag about doing it to the girls, he'd have to say, I did this at Miss USA to the women and women only. But that's not what happened, Popcorn. You got cooked, you owe me one band. Karen, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo, who says Popcorn is a perfect example of cognitive dissonance. He's devoid of logic. Couldn't agree with you more. Let's get a billion Karen W's. Jada with the $2. I appreciate you so much. He also insinuates in the clip he's done this multiple times. Yup. Cassandra, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, who says you've burnt popcorn. Thank you for what you do. I appreciate you so much for the love, Cassandra. Black Cat, thank you for the $5. Ashley, thank you for the $10, who says if you went for a run and other people also saw you walking, but you didn't say you walked, does that mean you only ran? Right. Thank you for the $10, Ashley. Tara with the $10, who says here's my contribution to what burnt popcorn owes ya. Only $980 to go. Michelle with a $5 says keep burning the popcorn. And then another Michael with a $5 as well. I appreciate you so much for the love. You owe me $980, buddy. I need you to pay up right now. $980. Catherine, thank you so much for the $26 donation over on PayPal. Thank you so much. That is Catherine with a K. Catherine with a K says 77-year-old grandma still listening. Love listening. As a survivor of SA, thank you so much for your unwavering support for women and girls. It means a lot. Oh, thank you so much for the support, Catherine. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I really hope that you're enjoying today's stream. Let's show some love to Catherine down below in that chat for the $26. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much. Jose, thank you for the $6. A, thank you for the $6. Then Christopher with the $5 as well. Over on Super Chat, Caitlin, thank you for the $5. If you're watching and you want to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok. They're also in the pin message over on YouTube, but the handle is at the top of the phone screen on TikTok as well. However, I would definitely push you to use a link because then you know it's me and it's not like a scammer. Now, Burnt Popcorn, you have had 2 people send $10 to help cover your bill of the $1,000 that you owe me. So as it stands, you owe me $980. Yeah. In fact, can we please drop the Venmo and PayPal in the chat just so
he owes me $1,000 too. Yo, Popcorn, you owe me $1,000 too.
You know what? I don't know why, but he does. He absolutely owes Parker $1,000 too. Send me and Parker $1,000.
He do it. He literally said, Parker, you're in it too. And I was like, okay.
Yes, I did. I did extend that offer to you, but man, you got some broke people watching you, Dean. Yesterday, Parker got $500 donation and all you're getting is 10 and 20s. Sounds like you got some cheapskates down here watching your lives. Do I need to show them how it's done?
That was probably a mistake for you to say that.
I want to see $500, or you guys are just cheap people. And
listen, I know from your perspective, you're saying that because you don't expect somebody to actually do it. But I wouldn't rely on the expectation.
Well, they did it yesterday, so of course I'm expecting.
If I were you, I would just drop it.
Now, do you want to go on to Iran since you got
listen,
into the Trump thing?
Right. No, because I want you to send me my $1,000. I want you to send Parker his $1,000. But I'd seriously recommend like dropping it as it would relate to calling the donors broker.
Okay. Well, if you can find a video.
Kimberly, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Says amazing. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much for the love, Kimberly. And then Nicole, I appreciate you so much for the $2 as well. Thank you so much for the love, Nicole. Lexi, thank you so much for the $5 over on PayPal. I appreciate you so much. I'd really drop that.
I want to see 500.
It's just not a good idea for you to say that. I would drop that if I was you. Can you please send me and Parker $1,000?
Yeah, I will once you show that video of Trump admitting that. Thank you. Next, let's go to Iran.
I've already proven that that's what the. I've already proven that that's what.
Right, you've proven nothing, but you're a liar. That's all.
Okay, but your only counter argument is nuh-uh.
No. So your counter argument is, hey, let's take these two separate events from two separate entities. One's not even Trump, and then the other is Trump. Yeah, dude, you got dog walk.
Cassandra, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo, saying another 10, keep up the grift. Thank you so much for the love, Cassandra. Let's get 100 Cassandra W's down below. Go ahead.
But anyway, let's talk about Iran. Let me dog walk.
Parker, what are your thoughts? I mean, Parker, do you want to hop in here at all? Paris, thank you for the galaxy. Parker, what are your thoughts? Isn't this guy just clearly like saying like nuh-uh in response to the argument I'm providing?
Yeah, he's provided no argument. He did the same thing with me where he doesn't actually provide an argument and then he just says he's dog walking you. And I'm like, okay, then actually engage intellectually with the point or try to disprove the point instead of just saying nuh-uh. That's not a valid argument. Nuh-uh is not an actual position.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Brady, thank you so much for the $100 donation over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Brady. I want to see 1,000 Brady W's down below in that chat. Thank you so much for that love, Brady. Thank you so much, man. I want to see 1,000 Brady W's, bro. That is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the support. Let's get 1,000 Brady W's down below. Reading Brady's message here. Brady says, how is $100 for you, Popcorn? Am I broke? Would you like to answer Brady's question?
Yes, I asked for 500, not 100.
Oh, so Brady's broke because he's in $100?
I got 500 for Parker yesterday.
So wait, can you send me $500?
He owes us $1,000 each.
I'm saying I got somebody that
better give us $1,000 right now.
Yesterday.
And Popcorn, you didn't get me shit.
I got you that 500. You didn't get it on your own.
Nope, that was not you.
You're welcome.
No.
Also, Park, I bet you $1,000.
Popcorn. Nuh-uh.
I bet you another $1,000
Popcorn,
for the exact phrase.
You already don't uphold this one.
For
nuh-uh. $1,000. Maybe I'll think about it.
If at any point during our live yesterday I said nuh-uh, I'll donate you $500 right now.
You're already not upholding this one, so why would I take another one after?
Because you got cooked and you're a liar. Because I'm calling you out, you're a liar. I don't even use that term.
You're the one that lied and said you'd send the grand and didn't do it.
I say no or fuck no. I don't say nuh-uh.
Well, obviously the nuh-uh is literally supposed to be like an exaggeration of you saying no as your argument.
You're a liar, disingenuous person too. Now let's talk about Iran.
That's not a lie. What are you talking about?
You just lied and said I kept saying nuh-uh. I don't even use that term.
The point of that term specifically was to identify that you were disagreeing and just disagreeing by saying no. That's all the point is trying to demonstrate. Look, he just ran away.
Does he usually run?
Yeah, he does usually run.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that's what happened to us last time is he ran away.
I just feel like somebody of his type that acts like that would be less likely to run because they know that it makes him look bad.
They don't care about that. There's no way at this point. They've been dog walked by me repeatedly.
Oh, never mind. He's back in the queue. It looks like he accidentally left. Feel free to get back in that queue. You meet, you lose. What happened, Popcorn?
You guys muted me. I try to unmute, and then it just... I guess I clicked the wrong button. I don't know.
Well, Popcorn, can I just tell you something real quick? Sharon, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Sharon. I appreciate the $50.
Anyway, so what?
Shelby, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love. Let's get to it. Shelby W. Shelby with the 20 says, and I quote, says the guy with no counter argument. Why did I let that go? I mean, yeah, bro, says the guy with no counter argument. He can't refute the argument I gave him. Really embarrassing. Thank you for the $20, Shelby. Go ahead.
Yep.
DW, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo as well. DW with the $20 says, glad to be a long-time listener. I use your streams as background of my gaming. Happy to see you competently debating these fools. I really appreciate you so much for the $20, DW. Show some love to DW down below in that chat. Show some love to DW and Shelby. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Kelsey, thank you so much for the $50 over over on Venmo. That is KELSEY. Dude, be quiet, Popcorn. It's so rude of you to interrupt me thanking my donors. Kelsey with a $50 says, here's my contribution towards this nonsense. This guy reminds me of my dad, definitely not tracking. Keep cooking him. It's cathartic to watch. I appreciate you so much for the love, Kelsey. Thank you. As well as, dude, that is honestly so insane of you, Kelsey. Thank you for the $50. Luna, thank you for the 12 euros over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much for that support, Luna. Thank you for the 10 Canadian dollars. Contaminated Bees, who says, still curious on what he could be inspecting in a dressing room by ladies who have done pageant years. Why would he go into the dressing room and not the green room, right? Well, it's because he was looking at their naked bodies. You don't need to be curious about it because you know that's exactly what he was fucking doing. Thank you for the $50, Kelsey. Thank you guys so much for all the love. I really appreciate y'all so much. Let's get about 1 billion big boobs in the comment section for all the donors. Go ahead.
Are you pivoting or crashing out or?
Whoa, I'm not pivoting. I'm not pivoting.
No, not at all. Not at all, Popcorn.
Okay, well, let's get back to the substance. Parker made a claim.
Popcorn, the point that we're trying to get to you is Olive, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Lexi, thank you for the $5 as well. And Lexi, thank you for the $2. Thank you so much. That's the point we're trying to get to you.
Dude,
okay, so you guys,
this is just like literal rage bait. I feel like
this is you guys conceding. I got it. I get it.
Wait,
now.
how are we conceding,
$1 bro?
Wait,
you
1
owe me
second.
$1 right now. Send it, bro.
It
Where's
is you
the money?
conceding? I would love to debate because it's really hard to find
How are we
debates on
conceding
TikTok
by
because-
thanking people for donations? You sick fuck.
Right. So, I mean, I figured that you guys were the last two
Oh
guys
my
on
God,
TikTok that actually had debates.
Catalina, thank you so much for the $150 donation on PayPal. That is CATALINA. I want to see 2,000 Catalina W's down below in the comment section. Catalina, that is so insanely kind of you. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you for supporting the stream. Thank you for supporting what we do here. That is awesome. Catalina with a 150, and this is actually a really good question, says, Popcorn, I want you to listen to this. Catalina once again with a 150 says, hey, Popcorn, you said I'd agree that it happened to women. So then why the fuck do you still support him? It definitely happened to minors, but it should never happen at all. So what is your point to that? You're welcome, Dean, and pay up Popcorn. Thank you so much for the love, Catalina. And this is actually a great message here because that was a question that I wanted to inevitably get around to asking him. I was just kind of putting it on the back burner until we found the natural point in discussion to bring it up. But you just brought it up, and now we're going to put that front center on the main stage here. So Popcorn, why don't you go ahead and respond to her question where she's saying you agreed that Donald Trump sexually exploited the naked women at Miss USA. So how the hell could you still support such a terrible predator as president, given the fact that you accept that he did sexually exploit women, and then he went on a radio show to say that it was funny and to talk about how good their boobs looked?
Right, I will once you concede the point that Parker was trying to make, in which he lied. So
yeah, sure, I concede. Go ahead.
You guys love to.
Yeah, I concede. I concede. Go ahead and address Catalina's question.
Okay, so I want Parker to concede that he was
wrong. Yeah, just say that you
lied.
concede, Parker.
No, he owes me my $1,000.
Oh, just say that you concede real quick.
Dude, you get your grant. Now, again, I'll give you $500 more if you show me or tell me what I had no response to your point yesterday.
There you go. We both conceded. Now answer Catalina's question, please, and thank you.
Awesome.
Please answer Catalina's question once again. Yep, we both conceded. Yes, we both conceded. So once again, Catalina's question is, you said that you agreed that it happened to women, so why the hell do you still support him as president? Once again, Mr. Popcorn, you agree that Donald Trump sexually exploited the naked bodies of women, and then he went on a radio show to say that their boobs looked great and that it was so funny. So please answer the question. How the hell can you still support such a terrible sexual predator as president?
Right, because you can enter a room and not sexually exploit women.
Oh, but that's what happened. Because would you agree that sexual exploitation?
I mean, that's your opinion, but that's not what happened. So,
would you agree that the definition?
So, Parker, back to you.
Would you agree that the definition of sexual exploitation is to unjustly take advantage of somebody sexually?
The two big bad guys.
Would you agree that the definition of sexual exploitation is to unjustly take advantage of somebody sexually?
46-year-old guy.
Would you agree that the definition of sexual exploitation is to unjustly take advantage of somebody sexually?
Hey, let's get some W's.
Would you agree that the definition of sexual exploitation is to unjustly take advantage of somebody sexually?
Define unjust.
Yeah, wrongfully.
Define wrongfully.
Like doing something that you shouldn't do?
I mean, do you need help, Park? You want to help him out?
No,
Come on, Dean, keep up, son. I'm
46.
You're half my age, and I'm running circles around you. Let's go, Dean.
Okay, so the definition of wrongly would be to do something.
Dean, are you looking up what the definition of wrongly is? Is this what you do?
No, I'm just.
You
I was
just get
just
on here
confused
and
by the
crash
question
out,
because
ask
most people don't know what it
definitions
is.
that you don't know
So the
the
definition
answer
of
to,
wrongly
and
is to
then
do
you look
something
them
that shouldn't
up.
be done.
Parker, answer the question, son.
The answer. No, answer my. So answer mine
Get
now,
back on
please.
my
The
leash,
definition of wrongly is
Parker.
to do something that shouldn't be done.
Get back on my leash, Parker.
The definition of wrongly is to do something that shouldn't be done.
You've been running from me for
The
months,
definition
Parker.
of wrongly is to do something that shouldn't be done. So answer the question. Can you agree that the definition of sexual exploitation is to wrongly take advantage of somebody sexually?
Depends on the context.
Can you give me an example of wrongly taking advantage of somebody sexually that's not sexual exploitation?
Yes, when you like go into a room and you pull down the pants of an individual and you grab their parts, I guess you could say. I don't know what you can say here on TikTok. Differs from live to live, but I would say that's one example of that. And I know you're going to bring up the E. Jean Carroll, but
why would that
as
not
we all
be
know,
sexual exploitation?
E. Jean Carroll, because E. Jean Carroll went above and beyond.
Wait.
We're
Not even. Wait, we're not talking. We're not talking about E. Jean Carroll. We're not talking about E. Jean Carroll. You just said no. We're not talking about E. Jean Carroll. I just asked you if the definition of sexual exploitation would be to wrongly take advantage of somebody sexually, and you said no, not all the time. So then I asked you for a circumstance where you are wrongly taking advantage of somebody. Yes, you did, because you said it depends on the context.
Is this what y'all do? Like put words in people's mouth? I never said that.
That's not me taking. That's not me putting words in your mouth. You said it depends on the context. That's what depending on the context means.
So I can tell you, I don't watch y'all a lot.
Okay, so now that you agreed, that you said that sexual exploitation isn't always to unjustly take advantage of somebody sexually, because you think there's scenarios where you could unjustly take advantage of somebody sexually without sexually exploiting them, and then you gave me a scenario of like pulling somebody's pants down and grabbing their private parts. Why would it not be sexually exploitive to pull somebody's pants down and grab their private parts?
Right. So if somebody sends you a naked picture of their wife and you see that,
no, answer my question.
Sexually exploiting her?
You're not answering my question, please.
So it depends on the situation. It depends.
I know,
on
but you
the
gave me a
context.
situation which you said wasn't sexual exploitation. The situation that you gave was to pull somebody's pants down and grab their private parts. So why is that not sexual exploitation?
Yes.
That's clearly sexually exploitive.
I would say that would fit my definition of sexual exploitation.
Wait, you can't track. You just said like not even moments ago that would be an
Would you
example of
agree
wrongly
that
taking
is
advantage of somebody
definition
sexually. That's not
sexual
sexually exploitive.
exploitation?
Yes, that's what I'm arguing. You're arguing otherwise.
But you would agree. All right, so let's ensure that we're both on the same page. You agree that somebody going into a room or dragging
stop
somebody into a
obfuscating.
room or whatever,
Bruh, stop
and pulling their
obfuscating.
pants down and assaulting them, that is sexual exploitation. Is that correct?
Yes, but you said it wasn't. Maybe you misspoke, but you did say it wasn't.
Okay, so that is sexual exploitation.
But you said it wasn't,
If
like
you,
less than 2 minutes
Dean,
ago.
happen to see a naked picture of Parker
Wait,
watching
popcorn.
it, that is
2 minutes
not-
ago, sorry,
that is-
popcorn, stop. 2 minutes ago, you said
That
that
is
was
not
not
sexual-
sexual exploitation. Address that.
That what was not sexual exploitation?
Pulling somebody's pants down and grabbing their private parts.
Address that.
You said that wasn't
Yes,
sexual
that is
exploitation.
sexual exploitation.
But 2 minutes ago, you said it wasn't sexual
I never said
exploitation.
that.
How much do you want to bet?
No, I never said that.
How much do you want to bet?
I'll bet you 1,000. Dude, you can't follow a conversation.
$1,000? Let's do it. Okay, but I'm going to go to replay the VOD.
You guys are just cheap. Do you have the...
Listen, wait, stop talking. I'm going to replay the VOD. You're about to owe me $1,000. Okay? Keep in mind, we're betting $1,000 on the claim that you said that wasn't sexual exploitation. Perfect. Let's go to rewind the clip. Agree that the definition of sexual exploitation is to unjustly take advantage of somebody sexually?
Define unjust.
To do no, I'm just.
You
I was
just
just
get answer the question. You've been running from me for months.
the definition is to wrongly take advantage of somebody sexually.
Depends
That the definition of sexual exploitation is to wrongly take advantage of somebody sexually.
Depends on the context.
Can you give me an example of wrongly taking advantage of somebody sexually that's not sexual exploitation?
Yes, when you like go into a room and you pull down the pants of an individual and you grab their parts, I guess you could say. I don't know what you can say here on TikTok. Okay, I get it. I concede. I honestly did not hear that part that you would not consider sexual exploitation. I did not hear that, so I backtracked that statement.
Okay, $1,000, please.
You also still.
But again, I didn't hear you say that. So I was answering the first part of the question. The first part of the question was what I was
bio, buddy.
Not the second
bio,
part of the
buddy.
question.
Hey, where's our money?
So I was answering the first part of that question.
Where's our money,
not the second part of that question. So that was my answer. I wasn't answering the second part of your question. Nice try.
Where is
now
our
I would like
money?
to go to Iran since
Wait,
you guys
one second.
took the L
You owe me
on that.
$1,000.
Let's talk about
You just-
Iran. Let me
wait,
go
wait,
walk
wait,
you on Iran.
wait. You owe me $1,000. You just explained why you owe me $1,000 because you didn't hear the question I asked you.
I never made that
claim,
claim, though. You said I made that claim. You said I
Yes,
made
you
that
did
claim.
make
I didn't make that claim. I didn't hear the second part of your question. I did not make that claim.
Okay, and that's why you owe me $1,000.
I did not make that claim because
did
you
make
asked a
that claim.
question that had two parts, and I answered the first part of that
I don't know what to
question,
tell
not
you.
the
Owe me
second.
$1,000.
I would
Owe me
never in a
back.
million years
Owe me
think
back.
that sexually assaulting somebody is not sexual exploitation.
Parker,
of
what are your
course it
thoughts?
is.
What are your thoughts, Parker?
I was answering the first part of your question. Nice try. And I know that you're reaching now because you're getting dog walked.
My thoughts are that Popcorn needs to pay up and that he's just scared and he just tries to say that we lost every time so that he doesn't have to pay up because he owes us thousands of dollars now. So give me my fucking $1,000, Popcorn, right
You guys
now,
haven't landed
okay?
a single blow. You've not landed a single blow, and I've repeatedly demolished you.
Where's
now let's
my
talk about
money?
Iran. Now let's talk about Iran, and let me educate
Where is
you
my
kids on that.
money?
Get it,
should-
Iran,
this
Parker.
guy's-
You lost.
this-
I'm
this
waiting
guy's
for you to admit that
insane.
you suck at debating, Parker. You suck at debating.
I know that
Got
you
it,
hate me.
bro.
Where's my money?
You'll get your money once you prove me wrong. You didn't prove
We
me
already
wrong,
did.
Parker.
We already did. You're
keep
just coping at
getting
this
walked,
point.
Parker.
Where's
Just
my
get back
money,
on my
bro?
leash, son.
Cope. All
Get
I'm
back
hearing is
on my
cope.
leash.
All I'm hearing is cope.
None of you guys can take me on. None
You
of y'all.
already have gotten destroyed. How does it feel? You're coping.
Dude, you got smoked, deep fried. Enjoy it. Let's talk about Iran. Maybe you'll do
The
better there.
projection is crazy. Dean, what
It
just
is
happened?
crazy. It is crazy that you guys get up here and spew the absolute nonsense and then just have to run into a guy like me that called
Where's
you
my
out.
money? Where's my money?
Oh my God. Hey, remember when you were like, "Oh, you guys aren't broke. You can't send a $500 donation."
Did somebody send a 500 finally?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna go to kick you. I'm kind of done with you. Anonymous. Anon. Thank you so very much for the $500 donation on PayPal. Holy shit. Bro.
Owes me $1,000 too. Like he literally made all these bets. He's like, I'm just gonna say no. I'm just gonna say no. It's gonna go away. W-Anon though. W-Anon.
Oh my God, dude. Anon with the $500 says, please don't say my name. You earned this. He didn't. Keep doing the work and fighting for good with sources and good argumentation. Listen. I don't deserve that much money. And that is unfathomably kind of you. Unfathomably kind of you. I am so grateful for your generosity and your support. Thank you so much for the love. Dude, I want to see so much love. I want to see so many W's for Anon down below in that comment section. Thank you so much for the love and support. Anon with the... Oh, dude, just unreal. All right. Anon, I'm going to send you a personal message. You know that. Thank you so much for the love and support. That is so incredibly kind of you. Show some love to Anon down below in the comment section, folks. There's a handful of other people that I do have to thank real quick. I'm sorry, I'm just like a little bit like starstruck. Holy fuck. I want to see love in the chat for Anon until we end the stream. Thank you so much for the support. That's fucking nuts, dude. That is so much fucking money. Eva, thank you so much for the $13 donation over on PayPal. Eva did attach a message, just sent the love. Thank you so much for the love, Eva. Marley, thank you for the 5. Arthur, thank you so much for the 10. And then Tyler, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on PayPal. Let's get 500 Tyler W's alongside the Anon W's for like the next 30 minutes. Tyler with the $50 says, by the way, this old fuck does understand that Trump is a rapist, right? He just doesn't care because he's similar to Trump's worldview, that looking at little girls isn't even bad. It definitely raises that red flag, Tyler. I definitely agree with you there. Thank you so much for the $50. And then Julian, thank you so much for the $10, who says, hey, Popcorn, if you're the only person insisting that you might be correct, then you might not be correct, you fucking dumbass. Julian, thank you for the $10 and the truth nuke. Richard, I'd like to thank you as well for the $25 donation, who says, here's $25 because Popcorn is not man enough to pay anything at all. Appreciate you so much for the $25, Richard. Show some love to Richard down below in the comment section. Show some love to all of the donors. Carla, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. Says he said conceded, tell him to pay up. No, he wasn't going to pay up. Right now, Popcorn owes Parker $1,000 and he owes me $2,000. Thank you for the $10. And then Melissa, thank you so much for the $10 as well. He says, listening to you to try to get this grown-ass man to have the comprehension level of a 13-year-old is wild. I know, right? Thank you for the $10. And then Shannon and Bethany, thank you so much for the $20 as well. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you guys so much for the love. Bethany with the 20 says, I'd rather be a broke donor than a broke guest who can't pay up on my bet. So real. By the way, she's saying that she's a broke donor because that's what Popcorn accused all of the donors of being. Thank you for the $20. And then Shannon, thank you for the $20 as well. He says, always hated the smell of burnt popcorn. Here's a bit towards his bet because he's too broke to do so. Thank you so much for the $20, Shannon. And then Kelsey, thank you so much for the $50 donation. Thank you so much for that love, Kelsey. Actually, I did already thank you early, but I guess I'm going to thank you again. I really appreciate you so much for the love and support. And then Aria with the $20 on Super Chat says, old man, sit down and shut up. Geez, you're such a child. You've been running away from every question and they keep on answering every single one of yours with no problem. Yeah, he's gone now. Dude, he has some problems. I'm not going to lie, Aria. Thank you so much for the $20. You're awesome. All right. Yeah, no, sounds good. We already have the next guest loaded up in here. Parker, I really appreciate you for joining. I always really enjoy co-hosting with you. By the way, I got to use the restroom. So Parker, I'm going to leave you on your own with this guest here for a little bit.
Don't do that to him. Don't do that to him, Dean.
I know it actually is a little bit.
I'm gonna beat your boyfriend up for a little bit. All right, just go ahead, go twinkle. Hey, make sure you wipe front to back. All right.
Oh yeah. Is that like the whole like vagina thing? I have a vagina.
What?
The whole like white front to back thing. It's like
whoa. I don't assume people anymore, bro. It's 2026, bro. I don't assume.
What would I be wiping front to back?
Oh, I don't know, man. Maybe I just heard that's the way things go with, certain people. So
with what certain people?
I think people that have, what are those called? The ganomes or whatever they're called.
What?
Just go to the bathroom.
I know, but like, what do you mean wipe front to back? What am I wiping front to back? Be specific.
Oh gosh, do I got to describe it to you?
Yeah.
I mean, nothing really like the real thing. I'll let you know that now.
So what am I wiping front to back?
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes
it
seems
you
just
kind
gotta.
of lost the conviction.
Sometimes it's stuff you gotta grab every once in a while. Especially when you got a hot wife. Just this things you just gotta grab and just you gotta let her know you're there.
But what am I wiping front to back? I'm still confused.
I know you're confused, Parker. I mean, Dean.
So then help me out here. What would I be wiping front to back?
You'll find out one day when you become a big boy.
How about we just find out today? What am I wiping front to back?
No, because I don't want to ruin it for you.
Oh no, ruin it for me. What would I be wiping front to back?
Dean, just go away.
Sure, after you could tell me what I'd be wiping front to back.
I mean, Dean, I'm sure you've had this talk with your old man.
You seem really scared just to say it. Like, say it. What would I be wiping front to back? Say it.
I mean, I'm not. Why would I be scared? What exactly would be the repercussions
you are
of me
scared
saying?
because you're not saying it. So say it.
No, I'm just.
Okay, so then say it.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say something I don't want to say.
Okay, so
I
then
mean,
why
if that's what you think.
Well, I mean, you're the one that brought up wiping it front to back. So.
Okay, well, Dean, what repercussions would I have of saying said thing? If I don't want to say something, you can't force me to say it.
I don't know no repercussions, so you haven't already experienced like
you're
getting kicked out of the basement by the mom. But regardless of that, just say it. What would I be wiping
kicked out of the
back?
basement by mom?
Oh, actually not
For
kicked you out
what?
yet. Very surprising.
For
so
saying
what would I be wiping front to back?
Just make sure you clean your urine. That's it. Whatever
what would I be wiping front to back? Can you tell
whatever
me?
You're peeing from, whatever you're urinating from.
Oh wait! But you don't wipe a penis front to back. You wipe a vagina front to back. So
you don't ever clean yourself after you don't clean yourself after you go pee.
Well, we don't describe it by wiping front to back. Nobody with a penis would describe it in such a way.
No.
Hey, Cass, can you tell me what biological anatomy that everyone pees out of?
Excuse me, sir?
What is the biological anatomy called that everyone pees out of?
The biological anatomy that everybody pees from? Like, are you talking like what exactly are you talking about? There's a whole system.
What is it called, bro?
There's a whole system.
No, I'm asking you.
It's not just one part. It's not just one part. You can laugh all you want, but it's not just one part.
Do you not know?
Are you talking about your urinary tract? Are you talking about like the actual hole? Are you talking about like what are you talking about?
What do you pee out of? You pee out of? What is it called?
Huh?
What do you pee out of?
What do I pee out of?
Yes. It's not complicated.
Yeah, what's the biological
You're
name
asking
of the
me
thing
what
you
I
out of?
pee?
What is the biological name of the thing that everybody pees out of?
Your pee hole? Is that
what's the biological name in terms of anatomy?
Well, I mean, this guy piss and shits out his mouth, so maybe that's why he's a little bit
Is
confused.
it that
I'm gonna go
is that
pee.
the
Parker,
wrong
you
thing,
just
a
completely
pee hole?
fucking fried his
Yeah.
ass. I'll be back.
That he didn't. What,
Hey, by the way,
what did that do?
I just want to let you know the answer to the
did that
question.
own?
The answer to the question is urethra. Just to let you know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go pee. I'll be
literally.
back.
I genuinely don't know how he doesn't know the answer to that question. We learned that in elementary school, dude.
Oh, Parker, have you wiped your urethra?
Urethra.
Have you wiped it? Have you wiped it?
You wipe the pee from it. Why are you asking me that question?
So you got a clean urethra? Urethra? Is that what you're saying?
Urethra. I'll tell you.
Urethra?
Urethra.
That is the dumbest. That was the dumbest.
Yeah,
argument
you don't
ever.
even know. You didn't even pay attention in elementary school, bro. Like, what were you trying to say, bro? You just tried to own Dean by trying to be like.
I was trying to be funny.
No, wait, hold
Dean,
up.
and then you guys took it like.
You think it's
to a
funny
whole
to like
nother
say
level.
that Dean, for example, has like a vagina? Was that what you were trying to say? Like, that's what you thought was funny, and we're just pointing out how you sound stupid. 2, you are stupid. 3, I proved it, and you literally ran right into the trap, buddy. Get cooked.
Okay, Dean or Parker.
Yes, dude, you keep mixing us up. Clearly, you're confused.
Well, because I'm on Dean's live.
Yeah, but you just called him Parker and you called me Dean.
So
Make up your mind,
what do men pee out of?
Everyone pees out of the urethra.
Okay, so what does a man have specifically? Is there any differences in the urethra?
Well, a man is specifically a gendered term, right? It's not necessarily a biological term. So not all men, for example, have the same genitalia. Did they get a flag? Oh, did they leave or did I gotta wait to ask Dean? Dean, did he get a flag? Oh, okay, makes sense. Because I was like, did he run? What was the flag for?
Harassment and bullying.
Well, he got cooked, so.
Yeah, he got shredded. What did he say that was harassment and bullying? Like, don't repeat it specifically. I just don't know if I could.
I don't know. Maybe it was what he said to you originally. I think that's probably what it was.
Yeah, probably. Oh my god, I'm struggling here. I'm getting used to these in-ear monitors, and they're low-key like a little bit difficult to like put in and out of your ears and to get used to.
I think I had those exact ones, and I didn't like it, and I actually prefer the Apple earbuds.
Really, bro?
The ones that I had that I've just had sitting around.
Really? That's oh fuck! I even put them on the wrong way. Yeah, man.
Yeah, because they're harder to put on, and it's like complicated and stuff. I feel like I might like wireless earbuds or something if I could get that connected to my mix amp. But I don't know how to do that.
Well, the thing would be, like to either get a wireless pair with like a receiver connected through it to a 3.5 millimeter port that you could plug into the mix amp.
True.
Like that would work. That's something that would work. But it wouldn't be like Bluetooth. Or even like a device that could connect to them via Bluetooth, but it's like a Bluetooth to 3.5 millimeter converter. I'm sure that exists.
I bet.
All right, let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the queue, guys. Only op inside of that box. If you happen to be MAGA, please and thank you. Over on Super Chat, thank you so much, Jonathan, for the $20. Thank you so much, man. Let's get 200 Jonathan W's down below. Thank you so much for your support. Jonathan with a 20 says to the Peen donation, this is the oldest sounding 46-year-old with no soul. Pay up, you POS. I love that energy, Jonathan. Thank you so much for that support. Leslie with a 10 says, why the hell is everybody especially insufferable today? What the hell? I'm pretty sure it's because we're live earlier, so therefore a lot of the Trump supporters that are tuning in aren't just MAGA, but they're also jobless MAGA because it's like during the weekday. So that's probably why. All right, guys, we're gonna go to get that next guest loaded up into the queue right now. Because a lot of people like listen in from work. A lot of people that are retired. Maybe there's a couple people that aren't working. But then simultaneously, you have the other issue of the fact that like jobless MAGA is probably a little bit more insane than MAGA people with jobs, Roxanne, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on Venmo. Roxanne, that is very, very kind with you. Thank you so much. Please do show some love to Roxanne down below. That is ROXANNE. Thank you so much for your support. Roxanne with a 50 says, I can't wait for the next presidential election when you and Parker destroy people on y'all's lives with facts. I also can't wait for the next presidential election. I was actually thinking about that last night. I think that me and Parker are going to have a whole lot of fun advocating for who we would like to win. A lot like we did during the Harris nomination. Thank you so much for the $50, Roxanne. Ivy, thank you so much for the $15. Sent this to Santana. Maybe it will interest you. Okay, I'll take a look at that, Ivy. I'll just have to pull it up on my computer, so I won't be able to read it out loud, but thank you so much for the support. Same thing to Andrew. Thank you for the $10. He says, why are the Trump supporters so obsessed with what's in between your legs lately, Dean? Oh, probably no. My running theory is that they want to have sex with me. Carla, thank you for the $10 as well. All right, we're all caught up over on Super Chat and Venmo.
Calm down, Jack from Titanic.
Exactly. Then to dispute the claim that they want to have sex with me, they compare me to...
Take it easy, Leonardo DiCaprio. Calm down.
Exactly. To dispute the claim that they want to have sex with me, they compare me to prime Leonardo DiCaprio. That's not doing what you think it is.
From Titanic. From Titanic.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to let that point die.
Yeah,
Whatever.
no, I wanted to smack him in the face in that movie too.
Okay. I don't know if that's going to be caught as like harassment and bullying. I'm just going to kick you in advance because I don't really like want another flag for that. Colleen, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal, who says, I would love to take on popcorn he's cooked. Oh, he's so cooked, Colleen. Thank you for the $10. And then James, thank you so much for the $30 over on PayPal. Let's get 300 James W's down below in that chat. I really appreciate you so much for that support. James with the $30 says, I know another guest mentioned a whiteboard addition to the show. Wholeheartedly agree with this. I wonder if they visually see their own conversation path and they can see how delusional their argument degrades to. Use bright colors and big arrows so that they don't get lost. James, that's actually been something that I've wanted to do forever. Is to have that whiteboard because I think it would be a great tool to use in these conversations to get them to visually track their own argument, as you pointed out. All right, I'm going to try to find a last guest for the stream, by the way, Parker. So this is likely the last guest. I'm at 3 hours and 34 minutes, so if you want to go live, I mean, I'd recommend sticking up for a little bit longer. But I want to find a last guest that's a little bit more chill than everyone else that we've talked to so far today. I think that would be good to find somebody who's
sounds good, bro.
More chill. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? Sophia, do you support Trump?
Oh my gosh, can you hear me? I like watching your videos. I do not support Trump, and I did not mean to request.
Oh, you're all good, Sophia. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I think I'm going to be looking for like a MAGA woman. They're usually a lot more chill than MAGA men. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not saying that's true all the times. I'm just saying that there's like a higher propensity for MAGA women to like try to come at it with like a more educated angle. But that only goes so far. That only goes so far. A lot of people in the comment section are saying, chill. Dude. Use your brains. You are actually, I know you're using your brains, and I know that you are intentionally rage baiting me. Let's go ahead and move on to the next guest. All right, guys, here we go. We got HQ Records joining up. You guys are intentionally rage baiting me.
Okay, I've been here like 2 hours. I need to tell you something.
Do you support
It's
Trump?
about Trump. It's about Trump.
Do you support him?
No. Mm-mm.
Hey, HQ Records. Right now, we are just looking for Trump supporters. But if you want to share something, join the Discord. Drop it in there. I'm sure. I don't really have Discord anymore, but if it's important, it'll find its it'll find its. It'll find its way back to me. Alexa, do you support Trump?
I want to know if you come to play my house. I have penguin.
I will not be coming to your house. Contrary to popular belief, I do not visit the houses of random people who join my stream and ask me to come over. Oh, Parker, you're in for it today, brother. You're in for it today, brother.
I feel like it's gonna be brutal today. I feel like guys recently have been wild. I don't know. I'm expecting it to be crazy. Have the flags been crazy today?
Oh, just a couple here and there. Not as bad as yesterday, for sure. Not as bad as yesterday. This just came through. Thank you so much for the $50 over on YouTube Super Chat. Tori, that is Torey. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Tori. Tori with a 50 says, damn it, I was waiting for Jill so I could call her orange Jesus again. She was super triggered about that. Oh my God, I bet that'd piss her off so much. Tori, thank you for the $50. Next time she's in here, I'll make sure to remind her of that in your name. Thank you so much. Let's get 500 Tori W's. Yeah, I would actually like Jill just to come up for a moment. Not for a debate. I just have something I'd like to ask her about. Confront her about. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Dean, how is Liv racist? How is she racist? How is she racist? You're throwing around allegations. You're wrong.
Okay, do you know how to... Well, let me just show you this. Can you read these 3 rules for me?
Be 18, be American, and be MAGA. And I'm literally American, bro. I'm from Texas. What are we on about?
Yeah. Band. Dreamweaver, thank you so much for the galaxy. I really appreciate you. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much for the 2 galaxies. Thank you. Moving on to the next guest right now. All right, let's go to get the next guest, Jason, loaded up into the box. Thank you for the 4th galaxy, Dreamweaver. It's very kind of you. Alpha Phoenix, thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. He says, I was wondering if you'd ever be interested in talking to people.
Dean, I'm doing it!
Like me, who used to be fans of Fuentes and changed for the better, just to get out that those types of people can change. I actually changed somebody of those types of people. I did. We had him up here a couple weeks ago, and we changed his mind. It's definitely harder for the Fuentes fans of the world to change 110%, but it is certainly possible. Let's go ahead and get that next guest loaded up into the queue right now, folks. Only hop inside of that box if you're MAGA, please and thank you. All right, we got Little Leprechaun loading in. Oh, Momo just left. She's been sitting at my feet all day long, and she just left. Hi, do you support Trump? Okay, your mic sounds like it's from 1785, so I'm going to have to go ahead and move on. Nothing personal, my friend. Not at all. Nothing personal. Yeah, Momo's been at my feet all day. I think my girlfriend just walked into the house, and Momo heard that, so she ran downstairs, but she's been at my feet all day long. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. What year were you born in?
I was born in 2001.
And how old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay, and what month were you born in?
January.
Okay, and why do you happen to support the worst president of your life?
You really think he's the worst?
Yes.
Why do you say he's the worst?
Well, because his character's exceptionally abysmal compared to the other presidents that have served during your life. His policy is exceptionally abysmal compared to the other presidents that have served during your life. And his rhetoric and actions, even outside of policy, is exceptionally abysmal compared to the other presidents that have served during your life. Which is why I'd argue he's the worst president of your life.
Well, I just popped a honey pack. I'm pretty horny right now.
Okay. All right, moving on, dude. Moving on to the next guest. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box. The debate I had yesterday with Lily Tino is starting to make its rounds. Fun fact.
I know. I saw a video with like 100,000 likes.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I don't really think I've ever seen Lily Tino having, a conversation of that kind so publicly before with anyone. So it's definitely something that I think a lot of people might be interested in, is finally seeing like somebody publicly maybe like call them out on some of their wrongdoing. So I'd assume maybe that's why. That's why it's going so viral. Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir, I do.
And how old are you?
26.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to do your very best to moderate and censor your language. Try to keep insults to a minimum. Try to just keep it pretty PG. I don't really want another flag for harassment and bullying. So if you say or do something that I think could be considered as harassment and bullying by TikTok, I'm just going to remove you.
Oh, also, Dean, I just wanted to say, you said M, like in reference to like them, and people thought you were saying like him, obviously, when you didn't mean to say that. So I just want to clarify that as well. You meant to say like M in reference to them.
Oh,
when you were referencing her.
Yeah, I said them. Did it not come across like phonetically?
Some people, I think, in the chat heard otherwise, but obviously, like I heard M like them. So I just wanted to clarify.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and take it away. Tell us why you support Trump.
Yeah, I think he's an amazing president.
Parker. I appreciate you for making that clarification. Go ahead.
Are you done?
I assume. I guess. Whatever.
Can I talk?
I assume so. I guess. Whatever.
No.
Are you done?
You may now speak.
Parker's so much better at rage baiting the guests than I am. Go ahead. Yeah, you may now speak, as Parker said.
Yeah, so I'm...
Not anymore. Now go ahead. I'm actually done. I'm done.
Okay, so now we're just gonna play games.
I'm just fucking with you, dude. Chill.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So I think Trump is a good president. I support his policies. I don't support a couple of things that Trump has done. But I definitely think he's definitely the better candidate out of the two over Kamala Harris. What pushed me away from Kamala Harris was when she was caught dancing. I thought that was really.
I thought that was not like we've ever seen Trump try to do that before.
I thought that was really ghetto. Yeah, there you go, Dean. Bust down. I thought that was really ghetto.
Why are you referring to it as ghetto when she dances?
Oh, Parker, I'll answer that question because she's a black woman.
Yeah, that's really ghetto.
Yeah. Black women dancing is ghetto.
So you're just
white
racist.
women dancing is like funny and strong, right?
No, I think Trump. Has better dance moves than Kamala. I think
so. When Donald Trump does the whole like jerking off the two guys at the same time move, is that ghetto?
When Kamala tries to shake her black fat ass, is that ghetto?
All right. I don't think I'm going to allow you to talk about Kamala Harris in such a way on my stream, so we're going to move on. Yeah, what a racist. Wow. Let's go and move on to the next guest. That's clearly like super racist. And that's something that, you know, is actually worth calling out. Is that women in politics, especially women that are like black women in politics, they have to jump through so many more hoops and face so much more backlash compared to everyone else. They do, and that's a fact. You know, those comments would never be made about a white man, and they aren't, because Donald Trump busts down and does his little dance all the time. Those comments would never be made to that extent, even about a white woman, right? We'd still get the misogyny there. Oh, it's like weird shaking her ass when she's trying to dance. That would happen to a white woman. But then it becomes weird shaking her ass, and it's ghetto because she's black. So I think that is something we unfortunately see all of the time. I think that's something that we unfortunately see all of the time, and it sucks, and it's terrible. So I'm happy that, you know, we got him gone. We absolutely kicked him. Now with that, this is actually my bad. We lost access to the queue. Let's see here. We lost access to the guest requests. When is the ban give up? It restores on the 15th for 3 days. We'll likely get the guest request back before that. That's my bad. We just got one too many flags for harassment and bullying from one of the guests. I could have done something about that. I could have reset the live, but I didn't, because I just didn't think we'd have another crazy person come up here and say some crazy shit. So that's totally my bad. Chances are I will be able to get that back. Chances are I'm going to submit an appeal and it will be good. So that's fine. I'm not tripping. And we only have around 10 minutes left on the live. So I actually think that we're just going to spend the next 10 minutes doing a Q&A. Hanging out with you guys for 10 minutes. Parker, I bet that you're watching. If you want to go live and start debates, feel free. But if you also, like, alternatively want to call me on Discord and, like, do a Q&A with me for the next 10 minutes, also feel free. It's just completely up to you. And then we'll likely have the account back for tomorrow. So if you want, feel free to ask a question in chat. Alternatively, you could ask a question on Venmo, PayPal. A little bit higher chance that I'd read it off. Gen X Girl, thank you for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you. Gen X Girl with the 20 says, I've not been here for a couple days, but the Ghislaine is pronounced like G-Lane. G like Gary. Ghislaine. Ah! So pronounce it Ghislaine to be correct. Love your show. Thank you for all that you do. Based, you actually just taught me something new. Thank you. Show some love to Gen X Girl for the $20. I really appreciate you so much for teaching me something new. Story time. All right, we could do a little bit of a story time. What about a story time about Jubilee? So we talked a little bit about this last week, but we're back at it again. We'll talk about it a little bit more now. I flew out to LA to film for Jubilee. It was a 1v1 type style, me versus Emily Wilson. I think that video is going to drop here pretty soon. Can't wait. And this shoot was crazy. First and foremost, I didn't select Emily Wilson. Jubilee selected Emily Wilson. Then I just got the email, hey, Dean, would you like to debate Emily Wilson? And I was like, well, sure. I'll debate Emily Wilson. We sit down for the debate. I know that Emily Wilson is pretty unhinged. We all know this. I've talked to her 2 times before. She's kind of nuts. But it seems like she's only gotten crazier in the last year that I haven't talked to her. And inside of this discussion, I don't know if it will make the cut or not. She was straight up saying that, like, she wants Donald Trump to be a dictator. And that's not even me, like, misinterpreting her. That's what she was saying. Because one of my prompts was, Trump wishes he could be a dictator. And her refutation was, I wish he was a dictator, but he's not. And he doesn't wish he could be either. She was calling Putin strong. She said that, like, Alex Preddy deserved it. She was talking about how we're actually much better off without Alex Preddy. And, you know, in retrospect, like, clearly a conversation like that is one in which you would reflect on, saying unproductive, shouldn't have happened. But because of the format of the show, I actually think that it was great. Because the format of the show is you can't interrupt the other person. You get a stopwatch with 7 minutes on it. You get to use as much of it as you want, and then you kind of pass the time to the other person to respond, so on and so forth. And because of that, I was able to lead her down the best reductive counter arguments ever and completely exposed her pure stupidity on every single point. And because of that, I actually think it was a net benefit to society. And I can't wait for the video to come out because it's a really good description on how the people who make these claims, that MAGA crazy cult, ultimately do so with no reason, no thought, no brain function whatsoever. And with that, I found it to be really enjoyable. And I can't wait for that video to come out. I can't wait for that video to come out at all. Okay. All right. So, Sorcha, thank you so much for the €5 over on YouTube Super Chat. Who says that was me who posted the Lily Tina video. That was really interesting. You did amazing as usual. Thank you so much, Sorcha. Yeah, I saw that. That is you. I've also seen a couple really good edits on your account. You're doing good. Gwym, thank you for the $5 Canadian as well. Thoughts on progressive tax, corporate tax, where corporations are awarded lower tax rates based upon the differential between their lowest and highest paid employees? As long as that doesn't allow for any type of workaround for members of the board or even independent contractors, because I feel like what would happen then is, you know, the highly paid CEOs would no longer be classified as employees or board members. They'd just be classified as independent contractors. Then I actually think that that would be a really good idea. Tax cuts for companies that pay their employees more. That's actually not too bad of an idea. Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Really good. Really good. I think that Parker's live, so we might just end a little bit early. Yeah, he's already live doing debates. By the way, guys, expect that Jubilee video to come out like in the next week and a half. That'll be good. That'll be fun. I'm gonna go ahead and end for the night. Try to get my account back. Only hop inside of that queue if you MAGA what, dude. I'm actually a bot. I don't even know why I'm saying that. I'm actually a bot. So yeah, go head over to Parker's stream. At Parker Get a Job on TikTok. At Parker Get a Job on YouTube. And I will see you guys all tomorrow. Thank you for stopping by the stream and tuning in. Go raid Parker, spam Dean raid, peace and love, good night and goodbye.